All right, welcome everybody to this wonderful special session. And we have my wonderful friend Manoj here, who's going to be taking the first hour of the session. Just a couple of things of housekeeping before I give it over to Manoj. If you have any questions during the session, please use it, be a question answer tab. Please use that. And if you have any comments, then there's a chat tab. I'd like you to use that. And at some point, if Manoj or I give you a chance to, if there's a question and you want to share something, you can raise your hand and we can unmute you. You'll have a chance to speak as well. Manoj, please take over.
Yeah, sure. So I'll just, in fact, I will introduce myself for a few moments and then you also introduce yourself and then we'll start off. So I am Manoj Lekhi and that's my wife, Nina. Okay. And yeah, so we happened to do, we got married in 1988. Wow. And that's a long time, 31 years. And accidentally we did one program in 1989 called the SSY, the Siddha Samadhi Yoga. And that's the time I met Guruji. And if it wasn't for Guruji, I always say we would not have lasted till so long. Definitely. Okay. So all the guidance in inward and how do you apply it in marriage also was given by him. And I would say I accidentally did this program because someone, in fact, my mother-in-law, we were taking a walk and she had not done this program, but she just said that your mother is feeling so unwell and all. Why don't you take her to this program? I heard, these problems get resolved without any medicines. So as such a good boy who just got married, just to take my mother, I said, yes, I will take. I have never done anything for her. So let me do this, getting up at 5 o'clock and take her to this workshop. And that more than her, I think my life got transformed. And that was the first time in my life I ever heard the word meditation was the first time in my life I heard this word. Meditation starts with M. And it was really, I just got psyched out actually in that. And I was wondering, where have I come? But 14 days thereafter, my life transformed. And then I went into the teachers training program, and all the applications of that program is, I was in business, proper business. They used to call me a Patel, and it was a multi-crore business. In 1997, I left it totally, absolutely. But I took the decision in about 1992 or 93 that I'm going to leave. In one of the Guruji's talks, that he says, he was saying that between 35 and 50, you have maximum energy. So by 35, you wind up, and he was just telling a general talk to everyone. So I was around 28 that time. I said, okay, 35, I'm calling it quits. But in 32, I called it quits. And 7 years or 10 years down the line, he says, you have done a lot of business. Why don't you apply everything? So then that's where Nina comes in, that she runs a factory by the name of Baggett. I'll tell her to say a couple of lines, then I'll say.
Yeah, so I was here in the midst of all this, I would call it spirituality, but spirituality, I think, it cheapens it. I think it's the inner quest that I learned from Guruji, and all the other things that, the detachment, the vairagya, I landed up not doing it in anything else but in my business. So it's been a very interesting path for me to apply all of this in business, because the whole paradox is like, you're doing a business to make money, but here you're completely detached, and there's meditation happening, and everyone in office, we do and believe and understand the whole power of the mind and the food and all of the holistic approach that we learn from SSY, and Manjo has been imbibing it more and more into the way that the stress hits you and you're okay. So it's a continuous gamut of learning, and it's been a great journey, and it is going to be further more and more.
In fact, she runs a business called Baggett and manufactures bags, and she had about 1,000 workers together as a team. But how do you apply it? And now at this point of time with the lockdown and all, it's a super challenging time for her more per se. And I always tell her that, 35, go back 35 years back, and you started from zero. So let's start from zero. And that's the situation right now. So she's restarting the whole business that way.
Wow.
But this strength to restart and be happy at this moment of time, and be not even happy, excited in the new opportunity, it all credit goes to SSY or Guruji's training of inward journey. So that's a bit about me and Nina. I'll tell Nithya to share your journey
I like
with all our friends. Yeah.
Manjo sounds better than Manoj.
Yeah. I've got many names. Yeah.
All right. What do you want me to say? Okay. So I guess I guess I've just been an explorer, and along the way I came across meditation. I was 16 years old. I think a little younger than you when I got meditation.
Yeah.
And went on my mother took me for a 3-day meditation course. In fact, honestly, I knew meditation before that as well, but it never really clicked the way I got it in that first 3-day course. I'd done a Zen retreat as well before that. But that 3-day course really internalized it and gave me a taste of something I'd never tasted before. The taste of the power of just being with the present. So for example, just being with the breath, and no matter what's happening, thoughts are happening, emotions are happening, many things are happening, you can just be with the breath. And you found a little island in the storm. There's a big storm going on, and that island. And that's something I remember very distinctly in my first experience of meditation. And so that inspired me, and I went on to make meditation a daily practice and began volunteering. I began, helping out. They have these juvenile delinquent homes. What in India they call remand homes. So kids who have been gotten into trouble. I don't know if you know this, people who are on this call today, but there are people in our country who are so poor that they'll force their kids to commit crimes. So they're caught and they go to a remand home, but at least they get food every day and they get some education. That's the state of our country. That they would rather their kids go to a remand home, even if they're going to get beaten there or whatever, doesn't matter. At least they're getting food every day and they're getting some education every day. That's how poor our country is. So anyway, I got a chance to teach meditation to those kind of kids when I was still a teenager myself, and went on to do an MBA, worked in the corporate world for a very short while. I have very little corporate karma for myself. I mean, I've done a lot of programs for organizations, but for myself, I was done in 4 or 5 months. And then I became a monk. I lived as a Buddhist monk in Thailand and Sri Lanka for about 6 years. And at some point, I realized that just like the Buddha himself had left his first 2 teachers, and he had to find his own way, I realized even I have to find my own way. At the end of the time, you have to be true to yourself. So while I love the Buddha's teachings and everything, I realized, no, I have to find my own path. And my own path involves a more playful approach, involves a more, synthesizing approach, taking from the best of all wisdom traditions. Something like Ramakrishna Paramahans would take the best of all traditions. He wouldn't just limit himself to any one ism. He said, no, all of them are leading to the same place. So something in me kind of peeped beyond the limitations of any religion, any system, is ultimately still, it is a contraction of consciousness at some point. So you're able to peep beyond that. This is just one way of looking at the diversity of life. Yatha drishti, tatha shrishti. Any way you see it, it'll appear true to you. Put on the lens of Sikhism, it'll appear like that. Put on the lens of Hinduism, Judaism, it has to appear like that. Yatha drishti, tatha shrishti. So at some level, a knot in me dissolved, and I began to realize, no, these are all different approaches. And forget about religion. Everyone's on their own path to recognizing who they are. So yeah, so that's how I began, and that's what I've been up to for the last several years. So wonderful to connect with Manoj recently, and
Yeah, you call me Manjo, that's good.
okay, great.
That's what people say.
Manjo, perfect. I love it. Go ahead, Manoj. Manjo.
Guruji used to call me Manju. He would never be able to say Manjo, so he'd say Manju. So from Manjo, I became Manju,
Do you know that in Buddhism, the bodhisattva for wisdom is Manjushri?
Yes.
Manjushri is the bodhisattva for the highest wisdom. So in a way, it's true. You're a wise being. So.
I didn't know the meaning of that, but he gave me the spiritual name Guruji gave me, which I rarely use, is Amrut Vivek.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the name he had given me. So anyway, we'll start. And yeah, I saw your video on the monks, so I was just trying to place, how differently you look. So for all the people who don't know me or something, some of you know me. So I will start on the topic here. It's basically today is about in 3 parts. So first part, I will be taking about 45 minutes, maybe 45, 50 minutes. Then we take a 5-minute break, and Nithya will take it for another 45 minutes. And then the last 45 minutes, we'll have question answers. More or less, it can go here and there. And then 10:30, officially we close, but unofficially we can just be there around. So that's the way we have thought about it today. So we'll start with a presentation. It will be a PowerPoint presentation. Continuously, I will be asking questions. So I would like you to write on the chat box. Most of the questions are yes, no, true, false. Do you agree? Yes or no? You know, that way. So I get a feedback, and once I get a feedback, then it's easier for me to move on. So whatever whatever I'm going to share with you, it is applying the knowledge of SSY. The full form is Siddha Samadhi Yoga, or the science of silence yoga. So applying that teachings is what we are going to do. And we conduct a number of workshops. So the most well-known, famous one is the magic of gratitude. And there we introduced something called the prepaid and the postpaid gratitude. We have the prepaid cards and the postpaid cards, telephones. So prepaid gratitude, in the morning you get up and be in gratitude for the whole day. In the night, postpaid gratitude, you be in the night before you sleep this. So we used to tell this till I happened to come across one video, and I used to say, I just saw this video, and I saw this video by the name, and I like the terminology of lotus gratitude. So I said, wow. And then I started to play it in this self-love. So in the self-love, I used this video, and it happens to be of Nithya, Shanti, you know. So that's how we connected. And I was always wanting to meet whosoever. I play a lot of videos of so many people around the world, from Tony Robbins to n amount of people, even the Sonu Sharma also, like this. So these are the people saying the same thing in different ways. And I would love to, like Nithya said, you know, we would like to get everyone back together, speaking about the ocean from different rivers. So this is where we got connected, and I'm thankful to Rishi, Punjabi, and Anju, who got us connected. Like that, we have, this is a very well-known, just let go. That's the base of everything in life. So letting go of everything. And these are the number of workshops we conduct. Okay. So we get into the topic today. So the topic is 5 steps to resolve any problem. So my first question to all of you here is, how many of us get disturbed during the day? It's a stupid question, but yes. How many of us get disturbed during the day? We all get, I'm sure. Okay. But you keep on writing. And whenever I do like this, that means you write on the chat box. So if I get a feedback, it becomes very easy, and it gives me a lot of energy to go ahead to the next question.
And if people want to address it to all panelists and attendees, then we can all see it. If you want to only address it to Manjo or Manoj, then you put it to all panelists. If you want everyone to see it, you make sure it's listed to all panelists and attendees. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. You list it to all. It's better because there are only 2 of us. So definitely I want him to also see it. You know? So we all get disturbed during the day. Okay. And we put the next question that, let's say, you know, we are about, I just see we are about, about 200 of us, let's say today. So we give you 200 of us, we tell you, go in this playground and play this game. I give you one bat like this. This game is not familiar in India. It's a baseball. So I myself don't know the rules of baseball. So I never bothered to find out. But let's say we were to give you this, and I tell you, go and play this game, 200 of you, just take one ball and one bat, okay, and go and play. Without any further instruction, just go and play. You will play for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes max. And after some time, what will happen to you? You know, just write down on the chat box. You'll all go and you'll get bored, yes. Then I tell you, I come and tell you, no, you got to play. Now 15 minutes up, you got to play for another half an hour. So after getting bored, what is the next step? You have to pay for another 30 minutes. Then you'll get irritated, absolutely. And then I'll say, no, you got to play for another 1 hour. That's what you have to do. So you will get even, in fact, very, very angry also. So why did we get disturbed? Why did we get irritated and angry? What was the reason? Why did we get irritated? Is my question to you. Yes, those people who know about this, don't answer Rajesh, Sriram and all. Okay, I want the people who are coming for the first time. Yeah. So many of people said yes, yes. There was no. I did not tell you what to do. I did not tell you uh, how to play. Basically, I did not give you any direction or any rules of the game. Do you agree? I did not give you any direction, anything, just one bat and one ball and go and play. So there was no direction and there was no goal and there was no rules I gave you. Do you agree with this? Can you write down yes? Yeah. So basically we got disturbed. Why did we get disturbed? Because we did not know the rules of this game, and most of the people in India don't know about the baseball rules, including me. So we got disturbed. Why? Because we did not know the rules of the game. Do you agree to this? Can you write a yes there? Yeah. So that's why we get disturbed in life too. In life also, we don't know the rules of the game of called life. Why we get disturbed, irritated, or anything like this, drop into emotions, because we don't know the rules of the game, or we are not playing by the rules of the game called life. Do you agree to this? And yeah, and in life too, you know, there are three rules of the game of called life. Three rules. But we are going to explore the first rule, which is a very major rule, and most of you know about it, but maybe not conscious about it. So the first rule of life is what we call, okay, we will look at it today, is called the law of attraction. So in India, it's a very famous thing, law of attraction. We call it the law of karma. जो बोएंगे, वो पाएंगे. You know, so I thank Esther Hicks for this little segment of hers. So this slide is from her book, and it's. I would like all of you to read this slide aloud so you can hear your own voice. When you speak it aloud, it goes more deeper into our subconscious. So I'll read it along, of course, but you also read it. Your mics are mute anyway, so you can read it nicely and it goes deeper. All that we are experiencing in our lives, we have attracted both good and bad by our thoughts, feelings, prayers, actions, inactions, and soul level decisions. So everything which is happening in our life, knowingly or unknowingly, we have attracted it. How many of you agree to this? In India, जो बोएंगे वो पाएंगे, अच्छा करो, बुरा बुरा करेंगे तो बुरा होगा, ऐसा like this. You know? Yes, most of us agree to this. But the good part is, read further. We can change our circumstances by changing the way we think and feel, what we believe and what we say to ourselves, our self-talk and actions we take. That means if our life is not working out good, it's not so nice, the good part is we can change it. We have the power to change our circumstances in case it's not good. If it is good, fantastic, life is going beautiful. But if it is not good, we have the power to change it. So how many of you agree to this? Yeah. So there's a song which goes, it's an old song, you know. Bhala कीजिए भला होगा, बुरा कीजिए बुरा होगा. So वही लिख लिख के क्या होगा, ये सर फिर भी झुकाना है. भला कीजिए भला होगा. Actually, it is not भला कीजिए. If we go deeper, it is Bhula socho, bhula hoga. Bura socho, bura hoga. And actually, there is no acha and bura. The state is to go beyond this. So, in India, we give you this example, okay, about law of attraction. If you put the search button, you Google and put the word scarcity, you get this picture, this type of picture in ours, and you put the word abundance, you will get this type of picture. Okay, so we are like a magnet attracting whatever we are thinking. Now I'm going to put a question here. Those who know the answers and are familiar with this, please do not answer. Let the others who are coming first time and who are probably meeting me for the first time, let them answer, because then let their brain little work. Okay, so I type abundance, abundance comes. I type scarcity, scarcity comes. So whatever I am thinking, that is what is coming. What is happening in the brain is our question to you. The brain is very, very dash with what you want. That means you got to fill this blank, fill in this blank. The brain is what? I'm typing this, that's coming. Whatever I'm thinking, that is what is coming. So what is it the brain is doing? Brain is very full, connected, adaptive. Okay, yes. Yeah, those who know the answer don't answer. Okay. Obsessed, repetitive, right? Connected, manifested, rigid. Okay, wonderful. So I'll just give you the answer. Okay, the brain is actually very, very clear with what we want or what we don't want. This is a very important principle of the brain. So if you understand this, that means, like, I will ask you, okay, the question, how many of you don't want to fall sick? How many of you don't want to fall sick? Please write down me. Okay. How many of you feel that right now at this lockdown time, you are feeling a scarcity of money? Money is very important. So scarcity of money. So if you're feeling scarcity of money, write down me. Yeah, I like that, me. Okay, that's nice. Right. So now just think, okay, now read this statement again. The brain is very, very clear with what you want or what you don't want. Every moment, please, I repeat this, every moment of the life, of the day, of the minute, of the hour, either we are thinking of what we want or we are thinking of what we don't want. This is the only two things we think. So when we say, I don't want to fall sick, 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 the brain gets clarity that this person is focusing on what? Please fill in the blanks now on the chat box. I don't want to fall sick. 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 So where's the focus? Where's the brain getting focus? Sickness, exactly. And therefore we attract more sickness. Now we don't say, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy. Most of the time we are saying, I don't want to fall sick. I don't want to fall sick. I don't want this corona. I don't want this corona. I don't want this. And continuously we are putting our focus on what we don't want instead of saying, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm super healthy, life is beautiful. We don't say that. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. What will happen to my job? What will happen to my salary? What will happen to my business? What will happen? What will happen? What will happen? And we are thinking on lack of money. So more of lack of money we are attracting. This is called the law of attraction. What we think, either we think lack of money or we think, wow, a great opportunity. A great opportunity. Wow, this opportunity I had never got in my life. We never think it is an opportunity. We think on this lack of money. True or false? Just write down. How many of you say true or false? True? Both. Okay. Whether you like it or no, the brain is all the time taking our instructions, whether we want or we don't want. one of the two is what it is happening all the time. So we go further. Okay, is next question to you. Do we have patterns? Yes or no? Those who know this answer, please don't answer. Okay, the people who know about me, don't answer. If you have done this exercise before, don't answer, but others definitely please. So next question is, according to you, what is a pattern? Please write down. Yes, we do have patterns. Your answer is right. Now, what do you mean by a pattern? Yes, repetitive behavior, actions, habits, cycles, way of thinking. Absolutely, absolutely. Right. So a pattern basically is a thought which is repeated again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And we have repetitive thoughts become basically an attitude. Repetitive attitude becomes a habit, and habits, thinking habits is called pattern. Outside habits, we call it a habit. He's got a habit of going early morning walk and all those things. But thinking habits, we call it patterns. And these get stuck into us in 7-year cycles. The first 7 years maximum from mummy and daddy. Then comes mummy, daddy, then relatives. Then as we go to school, mummy, daddies, relatives, teachers, and then friends. And then the last 7 years with all the information which we are getting from bombarded with the newspaper, TV, and all the internet right now. So continuously our patterning is happening, or in other words, conditioning is happening. In other words, our programming is happening. So basically, we have been programmed machines. As Joe Dispenza says, by the age of 35, 95% of our actions are fully programmed. So we are programmed with total memories. How many of you agree to what we have shared so far? Let's write down yes. Right? Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. You may disagree also, but generally we are all programmed whether we like it or no. It's continuously happening now. I just met Ellie Tom, and he was sharing, either we consciously reprogram ourselves, or the world is reprogramming us. So either we do it or the world does it. Okay, one of the two. So if you study this chart, this is a vibrational spectrum chart. Our vibrations keep on going up and down. Sometimes it goes down, sometimes it goes up, Sometimes we feel not so good, sometimes we feel nice. So if you see the 0 to 40, if you see 0 to 40, typically, what is it called? These type of feelings, 0 to 40, what is it called outside? Yes, absolutely. It's called negative. Okay. And 70 to 100, what's it called? 70 to 100 is called positive. Okay. So negative, positive, but we don't call it negative, positive. We call it low vibrations, high vibrations. Or in other words, this is operating out of fear. This is operating out of love. So either all the time we are coming from fear or we are coming from love. Fear is I will share about the brains. Fear is our reptilian brain and love is our conscious brain if we choose to. So if you see this, okay, yeah, if you see this, there's another dua which says, ये संसार कर्म की खेती जो भोए वही पाए जो भोए वही पाए जो होएंगे वो पाएंगे. So this picture photo is more like the 0 to 20 vibration here, you know, very, very revengeful. This is a revengeful state. This is an angry state. This is a neutral state, 40 to 60. 60 to 80, this is a happy state. And this is an ecstatic state, very, very happy. So 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, 80 to 100 is what we just showed you through the photos. So this was our emotions keep on fluctuating. So let's say you get a lottery check of 10 lakh rupees. You are wow, and your vibration goes very high. And then we deposit that check and the check bounces. The same thing, we go down. When things go our way, we feel good. When things don't go our way, we feel bad. Your children listen to you, you feel nice. Our children don't listen to us, we feel bad. So this is continuously going up and down, up and down, up and down. True or false? Our emotions, depending on the day, depending with different people, different circumstances, in business, in our job. You meet the boss and suddenly, I will not speak further. You meet your spouse and suddenly, I will not speak again. It keeps on getting up and down. So a little bit on neuroscience, I will share. Okay, this is a very important understanding in the area of neuroscience and brain. So how many brains do you think we have? How many brains do we have? Yeah. We have 3 brains actually, okay? And a little bit on understanding on the 3 brains, I'm going to give you through this pictorial thing. Of course, I'm going to go a little fast, but the main thing what you need to understand is what I will pause and explain to you, okay? So, we have 3 brains, okay? And the oldest, right when we were reptiles, that is called cerebellum. Then we became mammals. So that is called limbic brain. And then the latest brain, which is again thousands of years back, you know, is neocortex, the frontal cortex. So these are the nature of the oldest brain is reptilian, then mammalian, and then human. So the oldest brain is the function of that brain is an autopilot, fight or flight. So this part I represent, this is the reptilian brain, which is fear oriented. All our habits are stored here. And then this one, okay, just to represent the photo here, this one is the feeling brain. And then this is the thinking brain, just to thinking, feeling, and habit. Okay, so why we are explaining to do this is once you understand this, you will be able to shift anytime, anywhere in a fraction of a second. So all our thoughts, all our memories come through our 5 senses, through the sight, taste, smell, taste, sight, touch, sound. We will, if we can, uh, if we can we, okay, we will not be able to see everyone, right? No, we can't see everyone. Okay, all right. So I will go back to the view. Okay, you see me only, okay? Now every time, but while you are seeing me, you can do it with me. So you will remember it, okay? Every time we smell, we get a thought. Every time we taste, we get a thought. Okay, so while I am doing it, you also put your hands that way. So you will be able to remember it. Every time we smell, we get a thought. Every time we taste, we get a thought. Every time we see, we get a thought. Every time we touch, we get a thought. And every time we listen, sound, okay, we get a thought. So what is happening? First we get a thought, then we make a choice, then we take some action. So for example, I saw this bottle and I saw it. I got a thought, hey, I'm thirsty. I make a choice. I take some action and I also drink a sip. At this moment, we're going to pause for 5 seconds. You also, if you have a glass of water, please take a sip. Then you'll get what I'm talking about. Okay? So I hope you've had your sip. Okay, you had a sip of water. Okay, then you got an experience. Okay, and experience created a feeling. So why we should do this is the next thought depends on the feeling we have, and from that thought the next feeling arises, then from feeling to thought, thought to feeling, feeling to thought, thought to feeling, feeling to thought, thought to feeling, and this creates a habit or a pattern. So I tell you why. This one, see, I'm showing you here. This is the reptilian brain. Okay, then this is the mammalian brain, feeling, and this is the neocortex, that is the human brain. So representing my hand with it, this is the reptilian brain, feeling brain, and neocortex, or the thinking brain. So the thoughts come here, it gets processed here, it creates thinking, it creates a feeling here. This thinking, feeling, thinking, feeling, thinking, feeling creates a emotion which gets stored here. So repetitive thinking and repetitive feeling creates a certain emotion which gets stored here. Either it is not good or either it is wonderful. So when you got married the first time, whether it was very good or not so good, that you know better, okay? But whatever it is, it got stored here, okay? So habits or patterns are formed this way. And in other words, this is the conscious mind, this is the subconscious mind. So conscious mind, we get the thoughts, it gets processed in the midbrain, and it gets stored in the lower brain. This is how basically our nature is formed of personality, and that's how personal reality means manifestation takes place. So in other words, जो बोएंगे वो पाएंगे. What we sow is what we reap. This is the types of thoughts we thought, and this is the reality we face. So that person is a rascal, I hate him. So we will find more and more rascals in our life. He's a wonderful person, I just love to be with him or her. Then we'll find more and more wonderful people in life. So जो बोएंगे वो पाएंगे. What we sow is what we reap. This is the way we get our patterning or conditioning or programming or our beliefs. Belief is what? A pattern which is repeated again and again and again and again and again becomes a belief system, and all our behavior or actions come because of our belief system. So how many of you understood, to whatever extent you understood, that our programming, we are programming it? That means I said now all that we are experiencing in our life, we have attracted it, knowingly or unknowingly. So unknowingly, we attracted all this. So how many of you understood whatever I said? Can you just write there, yes? Yeah, wonderful. If you understand, yeah. So because then now the application becomes very, very easy from now on, if you understand this. So just to give you another analogy, again, I'm telling you, this is how the brain looks. So conscious mind, subconscious mind. This is all you remember. Even if you don't remember this previous part, okay, you can take a snapshot if you want, but more important is remember this. This is the conscious mind. This is the subconscious mind. Okay. So whatever we think gets stored here. So I read this book called Power of Subconscious Mind. Joseph Murphy. Beautiful book. a must read for all of you. Okay, he gives this analogy. If this is your house and this is the watchman, okay, so in your house, if someone wants to come and rob something, when will we be able to rob something from your house? When the watchman is what? Can you fill in the blanks? Can you fill in the blanks? When the watchman is away, yes. But in this case, the watchman is there. I put the photo, watchman is there. Okay, the watchman is there. Yet a person can come and rob from your house. When will he be able to rob? When the watchman is what? Distracted or sleeping, exactly. So when the watchman is sleeping, anyone can come to our house and rob. And that is exactly what has happened in our life. Why we get disturbed, why we get irritated, why we get angry. Because this watchman has been sleeping. And this watchman has been sleeping, so all the unwanted thoughts, we have allowed it to come, allowed it to get processed, and allowed it to get stored here. And when someone comes and pricks us, our immediate reaction is there because we have allowed all this to come in. True or false? We have been sleeping, this watchman has been sleeping, allowed all unwanted thoughts, and therefore anyone comes and we see that auto person coming in front of a car, we start blasting at him because we have stored those type of patterns here. So just close your eyes for a few moments, okay? And I'll say some statements. And just tell me, you just tell yourself, if you feel it is true, you just say yes. And if you feel it is false, then you don't have to say anything, just be silent. So, have you ever heard these statements in your life before? Okay, when you were small, when you were 5 year, 10 year, 15 year, from your parents, teachers, friends, experiences, books, TV, anywhere. So have you heard these statements is what I'm going to say a few statements, and close your eyes and just listen to these statements. You are good for nothing. You are too old to do it. Money is very, very difficult to earn. You just keep on saying yes or just be silent. If it resonates with you, you say yes to your own self. Okay? Don't try too hard. It's very difficult to do. This is not the age to try. You are too old. Don't trust anyone. We got to be very careful. Life is very difficult. You got to work very hard to make a living. Don't get into all these spiritual practices. They will all distract you from your goal. Now, open your eyes and write down yes if it resonated with you. Any of all the statements resonated with you. Can you just write down yes? So what has happened is we have allowed basically.
You have to do yourself. Video. You cannot do that. I can only close it.
Can you see me?
Your video is off right now, Manoj.
No, can you see me?
I can't see you right now.
So how do I?
You can just see your screen.
Okay,
Yeah, now you're back. You're back. Yeah.
I'm back. I cannot see myself. That's why.
But you're back. I can see you.
Okay, okay. All right. So, yeah. So we have allowed all these thoughts to come and get stored here. So now this is one principle of the brain, which is very, very, very important. Okay. And you just read it together. The subconscious mind does not know the difference between an actual event or an event, or it's not off, or an event which is created or imagined in the brain. Means what? This subconscious mind does not know the difference between an actual event or an event which we have created in our mind. Means what? Example, imagine that you're walking in the dark in the forest. You're walking, and suddenly you see an S-shaped thing on the ground. Okay, so suddenly you see an S-shaped thing on the ground. So immediately, what comes in your mind? Please type out in the chat box. What comes in your mind, everyone? Absolutely, snake. Okay, you see the snake and suddenly the whole body starts perspiring. Yes or no? You see the snake and the body will start perspiring. Now you take out a torch and put the torch there, and immediately you say, oh, it's not a snake, it was just a piece of rope. So the moment we saw the rope, the perspiration disappears. True or false? Now, why does this happen as per the brain or the science of the brain is my question to you. When you saw the snake, perspiration. When you saw the rope, the perspiration disappeared. In terms of the brain, what is happening? What is happening? Not psychosomatic. I want your understanding. So I'll tell you the understanding. Yes, as you said, fight or flight mode. This understanding is the brain saw the picture of a snake, and that picture was processed by this. Okay, the thought came, the picture came here. We saw the snake. This processed it, this part of the brain processed it and sent signals to the brain, which brain released some chemicals called adrenaline, cortisol, and these stress chemicals started to create the perspiration. Then we saw the rope, the picture, the rope came, it started processing the rope, and suddenly the brain sent chemicals, happy chemicals like endorphins, serotonin, oxytocin. These are the chemicals it sent, and the perspiration disappeared and the body felt relaxed. This is what has actually happened as far as the neuro patterning going. So, what I wanted to say is, when we saw the snake, stress chemicals were released. When we saw the rope, happy chemicals were released. You understood this so far? Can you just write down yes so far? So, if we have snakes in our life, we're going to have stress chemicals and the body is going to get diseased. And if we see this, instead of snake, we can see the rope, that means our body is going to get happy chemicals. So we have unknowingly gathered a lot of snakes here, and the snake could be our mother-in-law, or it could be our boss, or it could be our spouse, husband or wife, it could be our friends, relatives, and n amount of people in our life. We have unknowingly gathered all these snakes, and हम वो सांप को पाल रहे हैं. True or false? Can you write it down? True or false? Anyway, even if you write it false, no, it is true because this is how it is happening in our life. So what we have to do is, okay, what we need to do is how do we change all this? So how do we change is what we're going to come to the last part of this segment of today. Okay, how do we apply what we have got? So we all have problems, challenges in our life. I want you to write down one major problem you have in your life. Close your eyes for 10 seconds. And after 10 seconds, you'll put it on the chat box. Either you're having a fear of maybe health, or fear of some money loss, or a fear of bad relationships, difficult relationships, or a fear of walking in the dark, or fear of job loss, or a fear of salary cut, or a fear of business loss, or a fear of so many fears we may be having in our life. Okay, so list one difficulty or one problem or one fear which you are going into. Okay, so on the chat box, can you write down one? Specify one, then we give you the solution to it. Yeah, so and the solution: fear of death, obesity, rejection, relationships, yes, health. So all fears or all low emotions or all difficulties, okay, the 5 steps to resolve any of it, and what we call it is reframing our mind. So reframing our mind means what? Okay, the first step is catch your pattern. Catch your pattern means understand that my emotion is dropped, I am fearful of this, I am disturbed by this. Itself is being aware. So once you are aware that this is my limitation, fantastic. How do you know you are aware? Exactly what you have done right now. You have written to me, yes, this is my fear, this is my fear, relationship or whatever. You have admitted it to someone. It's the first step. So we always say you must always have someone in your life, some friend, somebody whom you can share your innermost secrets, that this is the difficulty I'm facing. If you have one such person, believe me, suicide is no more in the world because we don't have these suicide cases that are going on. So the first step is catch your pattern, which requires awareness. The second step is accept it. Don't run away. We are not running away. Yes, it is true. I am fearful. Yes, it is true. I am this way. Yes, it's true. I am falling short or it's my limiting thing. And then you write an antidote. Right now it is true and you have understood what I don't want. Now you write down a statement which what you want, what you want, what you want. So I don't want to fall sick and I am healthy. They're saying the same thing, but one is negative, one is positive. So write down what you want. Give the instruction to the brain that this is what I want. You know, so once the brain gets the processing starts here, you put that type of thought, processing will happen and then it starts getting stored here. This is the second step. The third step is to neutralize. That means whenever you feel this, oh my God, that rascal has come again. Oh my God, again he has come, she has come. When you feel that, if you have done the gratitude program, or if you know, you use one of the 4 mantras, I love you, or thank you, or sorry, or forgive me. If you don't understand what I just spoke, in our childhood, you know, mummy and daddy would always tell us, Mom, if we were feeling scared, mummy would come and say, Baba, ghabarao nahi. Hanuman ji ko yaad karo. Krishna ji ko yaad karo. Jesus ko yaad karo. You know, remember Jesus. Remember Prophet Muhammad. Remember Guru Nanak. Remember Krishna. Remember Hanuman. So people would always say, remember some God that way. So this is what is, we are neutralizing that karma. This is the third step. The fourth step is what we are saying, reframe your mind. Reframe your mind with feeling means you put a picture. Instead of snake, you put the picture of rope, your chemicals will change. The brain will start releasing a new chemical. First, I saw the snake. The snake came. I've got a very distressed chemical. But the moment you see the snake as a rope and you change the picture and you change the perception, change the way you're looking at him or her, immediately the brain will release a different chemical. And the last step is we need to repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. And when do we repeat it? When do we repeat it? Is whenever we feel low, whenever we feel down, whenever our emotions go down, that's the time we got to repeat it. Of course, this only works when we take total responsibility that I have created my life. I have the power to change it. So if we have an accident fear, okay, we need to change that photo. And this actually happened with me. I was very fearful of traveling because most of my life I've been traveling. So I had this fear, but I started applying this, and believe me, it has totally disappeared. It took about few months of practice, but totally gone. Health fear, put a picture of health. Death fear, change the picture. Family loss, change the picture. Walking in the dark, change the picture. Business failure, change the picture. Job loss, change the picture. Money loss, change the picture. This is called reframing your mind. So we give you this example, okay, before I end this presentation. The example is basically, okay, just you've heard this song, okay, but I'm just telling you, okay. Now let's say you're not feeling good, you're distressed, you're not feeling nice, life is not so good, and then you hear this song, which I'm gonna sing, and you just visualize what I'm singing, okay? It goes, ये आसमां झुक रहा है ज़मीं पर. The sky is blue, then the clouds come, and the clouds are coming, and the clouds come on the earth, and it is beautiful. Suddenly it becomes cloudy, and the fog starts setting in, and the fog is on the, basically you're walking in the fog. Okay, so that's the scene. ये आसमां झुक रहा है ज़मीं पर, ये मिलन हमने देखा यहीं पर, प्यारे प्यारे ये नजारे मिलेंगे यकीनन यहीं. ये आसमां झुक रहा है ज़मीं पर, ये मिलन हमने देखा यहीं पर, प्यारे प्यारे ये नजारे मिलेंगे यकीनन यहीं. सुहाना सफर और ये मौसम हसीन, हमें डर है हम खो न जाए कहीं. So as soon as you saw ये आसमां झुक रहा है ये जमीन पर, okay, how did you feel? ये मिलन हमने देखा यहीं पर. So how did you feel? Wow. What else? I could visualize it. What else? Forget the nice song, but what did you feel? What did you feel? Yeah. So wonderful. Exactly. This is exactly what you applied in reframing your mind. You felt you were not feeling good. You hear a nice song, or you sing a nice song, or you change the picture. I made you change the picture in your mind, and a new chemical was released. So you can do this any time of the day, or rather, we need to do this at not once, hundreds and thousands of times in a day, on the areas where we are feeling not so good in life. Wherever we are disturbed, we need to reframe our mind. Why do we get disturbed? because we forgot the rule of law of attraction. How do you convert a disturbed situation to a nice situation is all here. We can change our situation, our experiences. We have the power. It requires practice. It requires daily practice. And of course, at the end, I can share with you how to go about that also. So that's about it, what I wanted to share, Nithya. So that was a little presentation on the 5 steps of solving any problem. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's my, actually, this is my TED talk supposed to be. So
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That was so informational and very practical as well. And I think you kept everybody on their toes by making them respond to you all the time. That was really, and I loved how your energy and your smile was consistent throughout the whole time. Loved it. So maybe Manoj, should we take a little break and just let people stretch their legs for 5 minutes? And,
yes.
so people just please take a 5-minute break, stretch your legs, drink some water, release some water, whatever you need to do. And I'm also going to be sharing a link. I've created a link because, Manoj has created a wonderful Gurukulam, and it was damaged quite badly in the recent hurricane Nisarga. So I thought it would be nice if any of us want to contribute to the rebuild of the school. Because I think one of the things you told me, Manoj, is the school is a place where children are reminded every day
Yes.
that they're world class. What do you say to them?
They're world leaders.
World leaders.
Yeah. Creating world leaders is the slogan. So
which school tells you that, right? That you're here to be a world leader.
So that means they have the consciousness that I'm a world citizen. I'm not just an Indian or something. I think for the world all the time. That's the whole
I just made a simple link. If anybody wants to contribute now or later, I've just put the link right now. I'll also put the link in the WhatsApp group. But for now, I've just put it up there. You go up and scroll down. So let's take a 5-minute break, people. I'll play some music and stretch your legs. Be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Charlie, take a break. Take a break. All right, welcome everybody. Someone's asking, is Funwise Consulting an NGO? No, it's not an NGO, but that's my organization. That's a fast way I found to, if you want, Manoj, if you can also share your bank details, that might be another way that people want to contribute. So if you want to use your card, that's a fast way to contribute. The link that I've created, and I'll be transferring that money to Manoj. And if you prefer paying directly to his bank, then I'm sure Manoj can, in the comments, you can just put your bank details.
Okay.
For the rebuild of the school.
In the chat box.
In the chat box you can put, then we can copy it again.
Okay.
Great. All right. So welcome back, everybody. And I'll be continuing with the beautiful foundation that Manoj has created for us. I'd like us to take a minute of silence. Just tune in. Eyes can be open or closed. You can all take a deep breath. I was recently speaking to one of my yoga teachers, and she said to me, after years and years of practicing, for her, it's just come down to just be natural and be silent. Be natural and be silent. Wherever you go, just be natural. And enjoy silence. Don't always be so caught up in the next thing, the next thing. And I just found that very beautiful. What I loved about what Manoj shared, I'm still not able to call you Manju. I'm just going to go with Manoj. Later on, I'll call you Manju. What I loved about what Manoj shared is that that's kind of what came up for me in my process, even though I didn't know those 5 steps. Pretty much, I got pretty much exactly those 5 steps in my own journey as well. I began to realize. So I had a chance to live in a laboratory. Being a monk is like living in a laboratory because it's laboratory conditions. you're like in a lab, right? Very, very controlled environment. So every day it's the same people. It's pretty much the same schedule. Nothing much changes. It's the same schedule, same people. You have a very routine, very disciplined life in one sense. And yet on some days I would be bursting with gratitude, bursting with ecstasy, feeling so amazed to be there. And some days I would just feel like a complete misfit. I said, where have I come? What are these people? And I found everyone to be a hypocrite. My own teacher I found to be a hypocrite. What he says one thing, but where are they even doing it? And I began to realize that earlier I would have thought, oh, it's the environment. Oh, other people are doing this. But in this monastery, I had to realize that no, it's the same as yesterday. Yesterday I was all blissed out, but today I'm feeling all out of sorts. So it became very clear it's not the environment. It's my way of looking at the environment. In other words, similar to what Manoj was saying, I'm always living in the feelings of my thinking. You're not living in the feelings of your home or your environment. You're living in the feelings of your thinking. Right now, if I ask you, someone who betrayed you, someone who let you down, someone who broke your heart, something will start happening. I just said those words, something began happening inside of you. Because you're living in the feelings of your own thinking. And right now I remind you, someone who really touched your life, someone who just went out of their way to do something for you that changed your whole life. I have an example, my first Vipassana retreat, the full 10-day retreat. I'd gone to the center in Jaipur. Jaipur center is one of the most beautiful Vipassana centers, if any of you get a chance to go there. But it's a little bit outside of Jaipur city. Maybe now Jaipur city is expanded, I don't know. But back then it definitely was outside. There's a place called Galtaji Gardens. Some of you from here might be from Jaipur, I don't know. And I remember I had to go there for the Vipassana retreat, my first time. And I had a suitcase, and the bus only got me to a certain point. Now, beyond that point, there's cycle rickshaws that go. And there was a pretty significant slope over there. So I was in the cycle rickshaw with my suitcase, and this guy lost control of his cycle rickshaw. The entire cycle rickshaw tumbled. And we all fell. And luckily I got a little bruised, but it was nothing too bad. I was like, wow, what is that? He said, I can't go. This is too steep. I can't go. So he went away. So now I have my heavy suitcase, and I don't even know how much further it is. I just start walking with my suitcase. And this was, nowadays all suitcases have got wheels. This is like many years back. So there were no wheels. I had to literally carry it. And I'm a bit of an overpacker. I like to put more stuff than I need sometimes. My suitcase for 10 days, I was carrying my stuff. And I was like struggling, and I was sweating. And then a guy comes on a scooter, and he stops. He says, where are you going? I said, I'm going to the Vipassana center. He says, that's 3 kilometers on. You've got a suitcase. He said, come sit with me. I said, I've got a suitcase. It doesn't matter, sit with me. So I sat with him with my suitcase. And we began chatting. He actually didn't have to go there. He had to go somewhere much closer by. He said, I'll drop you. So he took me all the way there, and he dropped me at the gate of the Vipassana center. I got off with my suitcase. And then he ran out of fuel. This guy ran out of his scooter, would not start. And I felt so bad that, poor man came all the way. He said, don't worry about it, I'll just walk back. So till today, I remember this person. I don't know who he is. I didn't get his name, or if I did, I've forgotten his name. But till today, when I think of him, my heart bursts open with gratitude. It's like, wow, I might have given up. I might have said, you know what? This is too much. Forget this course. I'm going back. My grandfather lived in Jaipur. I said, I'm going back to my grandfather's house. But he gave me the chance. He took me that last 2-3 kilometers, and his own scooter broke down and he couldn't go any further. And whenever I think of that, I'm like, wow, and I always dedicate, when all the years I've been meditating, I remember him and I say, I dedicate the merits of my practice to you. Whoever you are, I dedicate the merits of my practice to you. Because if it wasn't for you, and if it wasn't for, who knows, I might not have done all of this. And like this, there have been so many people in our lives who have touched our lives. A lovely example by one of my teachers, Ajahn Jaisaro, he gives this example. Before he became a monk, he was a backpacker in Afghanistan. Afghanistan? Or Iran? I think Iran, yeah. He was a backpacker in Iran. He's from the UK actually. He's a British citizen. And he was backpacking in Iran, and someone stole his backpack. He must have been careless somewhere, and someone stole his backpack. And along with it went all his clothes, all his toiletries, and most importantly, all his money. Pretty much, he had a little bit on his pocket, but almost all his money went. So he sends a telegram back home. Those days, I don't think there was email. So he sends a telegram back home. I've lost all my money. Can you please send me some money? So his parents say, yeah, we'll send. Now, this is not like the modern system where instantly money transfers. It takes a few days for money to arrive. So he's, whatever little money he has, he's managing the cheapest of places to stay. He has the same T-shirt, cheapest of places to eat, and he's a little bit ragtag. He hasn't shaved for a few days. So he wakes up one morning like wondering what to eat now, because a little bit of money is left. He has to wait for the money to come. He walks out on the street. He's looking for a place to eat, and from a home comes out this perfectly dressed Iranian woman wearing this perfect, beautiful clothes, and she looks at him, sizes him up. And she said, "You come here." And she's speaking whatever the local language, was it Farsi? I don't know what the language of Iran is. And she's like, "Come." And she calls him, and he's like, and she just orders him, "Come." And he doesn't know what's going on. And she invites him inside the house. And they live on the top floor. They walk up. And the moment she enters the house, she tells her son to do something. The son goes into the room. She says, "You sit over here." A minute later, the son comes out. She says, "Go inside that room." And again, they can't speak. There's no, like, all is happening by gesture. She can't speak the English language. And he's wondering, what is this? Why she brought me here? What's going on? So on the bed is a fresh pair of clothes. And there is a fresh razor, and there's a fresh soap, and there's a fresh towel. And she says, "Go, have a bath." Like, what's going on? So he goes away, and he's really surprised. He's very confused about what's going on. He has a bath, he comes out, puts on that fresh shirt, shaves, and piping hot breakfast is waiting for him. And he's amazed what's going on over here. And you make sure he's well fed. Somehow this lady picked up that this young tourist is in trouble. He didn't even ask for anything, but she picked it up. And just like a mother bear, she said, "Come." And she ordered her, she had to go somewhere, but she stopped all of that. She got him inside the house. She fed him. She gave him a fresh set of clothes. And then once she was done, he was done. So, "Can I follow me?" Came down. And she didn't even wait for a thank you. She smiled at him and she went. And this was like, it was a surreal experience for him that, like, out of nowhere, he didn't ask for help. He could barely speak the language. And this lady had come and just literally picked him up and almost like taken him to a kind of a little bit of mini heaven, actually, fed him, given him clothes. And he says, till this day, when he thinks of that incident, tears come to his eyes, tears of gratitude. And then he says, it's fascinating that this woman gave him one set of clothes, one breakfast, one act of kindness. And till today, he can't forget it. But when he thinks of his parents, he doesn't get the same gratitude. His parents have given him countless meals, countless sets of clothes, countless, opportunities for shelter and everything. But the same gratitude doesn't come. It's like sometimes it's a mixture of many things, including judgment. And he says, how fascinating that is. My parents have done so much for me. I tend to have judgment. This lady who did it once for me, there's no judgment. There's only love. So we're always living in the feelings of our thinking. It's not what's happening, it's how we're processing what's happening. It's very similar to what Manoj was saying the whole time. So what I began to realize, this is one of my biggest learnings. People ask me, what did you learn in your monk life? So this is the one most powerful learning for me. I don't know if it will be powerful for you or not, but for me, it was incredibly powerful. I realized again and again and again and again, day after day, month after month, year after year, I realized. Practice this with me, everybody. In the present moment, there are never any problems. In the present moment, life just is the way it is. So test it out. Is it true? Come fully in the present, 100%, seeing what you're seeing, hearing what you're hearing, feeling what you're feeling. And I got to test this out again and again and again. In different weather conditions, in different health conditions. It was pleasant, it was unpleasant, it was neutral. I went through all the experiences. But in the present moment, there was never any problem. It just was the way, life just is the way it is. Problems come from our imagination, from comparison, how it could be, how it should be, how it must be. I love what Byron Katie says. She says, suffering is arguing with reality. And she says, when you argue with reality, you lose only 100% of the time. Some of you like the word reality, some of you like the word God's will. What is reality? Reality is God's will. What is God? Grand overall design. It's the underlying intelligence of the universe. And somehow life has created this moment exactly this way. And you come along and say, not good enough. I don't like it. Should be like this, should be like that. All right. When you argue with reality, you lose only 100% of the time. So what's the first step? Come into alignment with the way things are. Whatever's going on, thoughts are going on, feelings are going on. This is the way it is. Similar to what you were saying, Manoj. This is the way it is. Acceptance. Recognize what's going on. You start breaking the hypnotic trance. Before you come to acceptance and awareness, you're in this hypnotic trance of believing your thoughts. In fact, there's a beautiful definition. Richard Bach had this beautiful 2-word definition of hypnosis, which I just love. How do you define hypnosis? 2 words. Suggestion, accepted. The mind gave some kind of suggestion. That person doesn't like you. Some kind of suggestion. You can't do this. Or the suggestion, this is easy. For example, some of us have the belief, money comes easy. Like I love this beautiful, again, Byron Katie, a person I've learned a lot from. So she has this beautiful quote, which I love. She says, when I enter a room, I know everyone loves me. When I enter a room, I know everyone loves me. I just don't expect them to know it yet.
Right.
And that's kind of my belief system as well. I have this deep sense that wherever I go in the world, people are going to love what I have to say. Like there's no doubt in my heart. I know they're going to love it. It doesn't matter what religion they're from or what belief system they're going to just love it. I remember being in Utah, which is a very strong Mormon. Some of you here might be some of them, because I've lived in Utah quite a bit. Some friends here might be from Utah. It's a very strong Mormon culture, and Mormonism it's a very, in some ways, very peculiar and system. At the same time, they have many beautiful qualities, like the community is very strong and everything. So anyway, I was invited to speak at the library in Logan, Utah. And these are all normal, more than 90% of the population there is Mormon. And when I come there and I start sharing my experience, now I should be a little nervous, right? I've been a Buddhist monk and I've lived in India and I have all of these things, but I'm so convinced they're going to love what I say. And I'm sharing some of my things and I tell them one of my favorite rules is rule number 6. Rule number 6 is don't take life so seriously. I've been sharing this rule number 6 all over the world. So my usual, when I share about rule number 6, don't take life so seriously. Then people say, what are the other rules? I say, there are no other rules. And they all start laughing. No other rules? Why is it rule number 6? Don't take life so seriously. I shared this, one of my favorite things, rule number 6, don't take life so seriously. And for the first time I experienced, nobody in the room laughed. They were all looking at me very strange. I said, it doesn't work for these people. Then at the end of the lecture, a lot of them came to me and said, that was a very new idea, rule number 6. Because somehow they've begun taking life too seriously. For them, it was a completely new concept that you can actually enjoy life. You don't have to take it so seriously. And that non-response was actually a moment of their brain readjusting to, like, we're not here to be judged, right? For them, it was a very new thought. So what the thinker thinks, the prover proves. If you think life is really serious, I'm in big trouble, we got to be careful, I'm going to be judged, you know what? It's true. And that will be your experience. Like Manoj was saying, whatever you think, the brain is very clear. Whatever you think, you will experience that. So we are always living in the feelings of our thinking. And the beautiful thing about this is your feelings are guidance. In the present moment, there isn't even an emotion. Your emotions are to guide you back to the present. In the present, there just is what is. You can't even say this emotion or that emotion. It just is. Although at the most you could say there is vibration and there is consciousness. And even that's a concept. Because there is no vibration without consciousness. And there is no consciousness unless it's experiencing something. So you could just say there is this one ocean. There is just this oneness. And all our thoughts and emotions, and they're all guiding us back to this place of just being. So the way I conceptualize it, on many of the highways nowadays, you have on the side of the road something called the rumble strip. The rumble strip, as your car starts deviating, you hear a sound. And that's basically little micros. They've made these little cuts along the road. So your tire, when it runs and it makes a sound. So in case you're falling asleep, you wake up. Or in case you're deviating from the road, you wake up. So our life has also got these rumble strips. And one of my teachers said, life will first give you a whisper. Then it'll give you a nudge. And if you still don't listen, life will give you a slap. Now, what does it mean to have a high quality life? The high quality life is the wise, the intuitive, the joyful, the easeful, graceful life is you pick up the whispers. You don't have to wait. You pick up the whispers. Okay, once in a while you'll miss the whispers. Okay, you pick up the nudge. And once in a while, all of us are going to miss the nudge as well. Then you get the slap. Now, if you're wise, you will learn from that. If you're otherwise, then you will start finding people to blame. They did it. Oh, because of my mother, because of that business partner. Oh, because I got married to the wrong person. Oh, because of the economy. Oh, because of this prime minister. Oh, because of this religion. And you start finding people to blame. Which is what I loved about Manoj's presentation. He briefly mentioned these 4 mantras, which come from a tradition in Hawaii called Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you and I thank you. The main idea of Ho'oponopono is take full responsibility for your experience. So the way I've conceptualized it now, the way I understand it now, is this whole life is not happening to me. Life is happening for me. I see it as it's a beautiful mystery, and it's amazingly designed. It's perfectly designed, actually, for my blossoming. It's designed for me to blossom and wake up. Blossom and wake up from the hypnotic trance I have somehow come into. The hypnotic trance of believing all these thoughts. Have you heard of this, Manoj? Have you heard? MIND, M-I-N-D, stands for mostly inaccurate neurodrama.
Oh, no, I'm hearing first.
MIND, mostly inaccurate neurodrama. Wow. So which is why the way I conceptualize it, we have the conscious mind that thinks, we have the subconscious mind that feels, we have the superconscious mind that just knows, just is, right? So thinking, feeling, and being. And what's the journey we're on? Conscious mind, subconscious mind, superconscious mind, to eventually never mind. We want to live in a place of never mind. And life will not stop until you come to the never mind. So there's a wheel that's spinning. If you touch the outer part of the wheel, it really is going to burn your hand. You're in big trouble. So you put on a glove. It burns less, but it's still super hot. You come to the center of the wheel. The center of the wheel, it burns a lot less, but still something is happening. And eventually, you pull your finger off the wheel. So in the beginning, before we've come across any of these teachings, life burns you badly. Why? Pleasant burns you and unpleasant burns you. Both burn you. What does it mean? Pleasant burns you because I want that. I want that. That should never go away. Oh my goodness, such a good friend. I'm moving cities now. I'm going to lose my friend. So even the pleasant burns you. The pleasant burns you badly because then you're afraid of losing it. And we all know this. We have a pleasant experience, now we're afraid of losing it. The unpleasant, of course, burns you. Who wants the unpleasant? So unpleasant is nicely burning you anyway. Nothing has to be said about that. Even the neutral experiences burn you because you get bored. You're like, oh my goodness, something is happening. My life is stagnating. I'm stagnating. So we get burnt. Then we learn to put on a glove. And in my understanding of the glove is you learn some very basic ethics in life. So for example, you decide, I will not steal. I will not, even if no one is looking, I'll not steal. Because whether or not they see it, someone saw it. And that someone is me. Because the only guaranteed long-term relationship I have in this lifetime is with this one. Every year, nobody else, other people may see me or not see me, but I'm witnessing my own life all the time. So it's a very basic decision, and this really helped me, that I will have my own value system. So what I got from the Buddha is that don't take life, don't kill, don't steal. Don't misuse your sensual and sexual energy in a way that causes a lot of disharmony in your relationships, right? So if you're in a committed relationship, then be committed. Don't play these games. If you're a king who's got a harem, all right, then be committed to your harem. Take care of all of them, right? But follow that. And so basically don't misuse your sensual energies. And use your speech wisely. At the very basic level, tell the truth. But then there are subtleties to that. Let it be true, let it be kind, and let it be necessary. So for example, idle chatter. I used to be, one of my big problems in life was I used to gossip and I used to talk people behind people's backs. And we just talk about nonsense. And maybe there is still a little atom of that somewhere, but mostly it's gone. It's such a relief. Oh my God, what a bad habit to talk behind people's backs and to talk about nonsense, idle chatter. And I used to feel I'm so smart. I can talk about any topic in the world. But it was so draining to talk about those things. And the last one is to be aware of the substances you put in your body, which can delude your mind, especially if you're on this path. So for me, that really helped, right? So to become aware that because, for example, for me, alcohol does not give me a high, it gives me a low. But I think I'm higher. My normal state is higher than alcohol. Alcohol does not give me a high. Alcohol makes me dull. My experience anyway, right? So when you put on the glove is like, you decide the basic ethics for you. So life doesn't burn you so badly anymore. At least you're like, it's raining everywhere. At least you got your umbrella and you're fine. So you find the ethics that work for you, basic value system, which is non-negotiable. There's a beautiful teaching. Stephen Covey would talk about this in his book, that there is this fleet of naval vessels, warships, and they're going in the open ocean. And then one of the vessels, on the radar, it notes a blip, blip, blip. So they call the captain. They're the something small up ahead. The captain says, "Yeah, must be a fishing boat. Just send a message. Get out of the way. There are 5 destroyers coming." So message is sent to the whatever object is in front, saying, please move out of the way. 5 destroyers are coming. So message comes back, says, no, you move out of the way. You move out of the way. You're a little blip. We have 5 boats. So another stronger message is sent. We have 5 warships. We are now within 3 kilometers of you. Move out of the way. We're coming that direction. No, you move out of the way. And now the messages relate to all the 5 destroyers. What is going on? This little fellow is not moving out of the way. And they all go on high alert. And now a very strong message is sent. If you do not move out of the way in the next minute, if you don't see you moving, we should take it as an aggressive action. And we shall actually have to take corrective action against you. So we are military vessels. And now there's a very tense silence. All the 5 boats are on high military alert. Anything can happen. Is this an enemy ship? What's going on over here? Is it a submarine? What is going on over here? And just before the minute ends, a message comes back saying, I'm a lighthouse. Now, when you're a lighthouse, then doesn't matter how many military vessels you are, you have to make way. You have to make way for the lighthouse. And what really helped me was at a rather young age to get a sense of, I'm not going to compromise on this. To the best of my ability, I shall not take life. I shall not take what is not given. I shall not misuse my sensual energies in a way that causes disharmony in my relationships. I shall not misuse my speech in a way that troubles others. And I shall not take on substances that cloud my mind, because I'm on the path of living a conscious life. That's like wearing gloves. And then you come to the center. The center represents concentration. Center of what? Center of now. Right. So be in the center. Step 1, return to center. Return to center. What is return to center? Right now, when listening, just listen. When seeing, just see. When feeling, just feel. When sitting, just sit. When tasting, just taste. Manoj made us drink some water. When drinking water, just drink water. There's a story of the Zen master. He was very strict on this. So in his monastery, if someone was gardening and talking, he'd shout at them. When gardening, just garden. When talking, just talk. In the kitchen, when someone was listening to music and cutting vegetables. When listening to music, listen to music. When cutting vegetables, cut vegetables. So very strict. Do one thing at a time. Single tasking. Now, one day someone went to the master's room and they were shocked to find he's eating porridge and he's reading the paper. So the student said, my goodness, what a hypocrite. Every day he shouts at us. And the teacher, are you not a hypocrite? You are reading the paper and you're eating porridge. But of course, Zen masters are not Zen masters for nothing. So he smiles. He folds the paper, puts it down, smiles at that student and says, yes, when eating porridge and reading the paper, just eat porridge and read the paper. Because the truth is, the Zen master is at the level that in the moment he's eating, he's just eating. In the moment he's reading, he's just reading. Most of us can't do this. Most of us, when we are eating, we're processing what we read. And when we are reading, we're thinking of what we're going to eat next. So we are split. So wherever you go, there you are. and to experience it fully. To experience it fully is the real reason that we are alive, actually. Have full experiences. The whole point of all of this meditation and all of this spirituality and all this, have full experiences. If you're already having full experiences without creating a story about, oh, I'm like this, you're like this, the world is like this, then you don't need spirituality as far as I'm concerned. The intuitive process of life will take over. It will guide you. Go through everything in life. Go through everything. Even the 5 guidelines I told you, I said, don't follow the 5 guidelines. Because the truth is, any shoulds, you will, in any case, you will revolt against those shoulds. No, I don't want it. Okay, then don't. But then be honest with yourself. What happens? What happens when you take what is not given? What happens when you, like I had a college friend, and he would call me up. His biggest woe was he had 3 girlfriends, none of which knew about each other. How do you do it, man? How do you do it? And he's juggling these 3 girlfriends, right? None of them know about each other. So, okay, but, and then you go through that. All right. So then go through that. And then that's a certain experience. So we have to go through the experience and then ask ourselves, be honest to ourselves. What's happening? So life is giving you feedback all the time. The way you're thinking, the way you're speaking, the way you're behaving, constant feedback is happening. All of us know the meaning of physical pain. Don't touch that, it hurts. Don't sit like that, it hurts. Don't walk like that. Don't bend like that. Don't pick it up like that, it hurts. Don't touch that hot thing, it hurts. Physical pain, we know, don't do that, it hurts. But very few of us know the meaning of emotional pain. And emotional pain is telling us, don't believe that it hurts. Don't believe that it's a lie. So for example, when Manoj was sharing those thoughts, that he said, check if it's true for you. You remember that? When he did that about how, money doesn't grow on trees. It's not so easy. You don't deserve it. You can't do it all. And I could feel, my inner being. In fact, I couldn't even type yes, Manoj, because I thought, how can I say yes to that? I mean, no way. My whole inner being revolted, but there's nothing doing. And what's happened with me is that I've just become very sensitive to this. And I trust this. I actually trust this more than I trust the Buddha, more than I trust Guru Nanak, more than I trust Kabir. I trust this. If it's expansive, I trust it. If it's contracting, then at the very least, if I read something from the Buddha that makes me contract, if I read something from Guru Nanak that makes me contract, if I read something from Jesus Christ that makes me contract, I'll say, why is it making, have I misunderstood it? Maybe I misunderstood, because sometimes you misunderstand. And if it's still, despite asking and investigating and researching, if it still makes me contracted, then I said, all right, it may be a truth for them. It's not a truth for me. And I'm going to trust this one. I'm going to go with what's expansive. I'm going to go with what makes me light. And I'm going to go with what makes the path beautiful and bright. So return to center and then release the center. Wake up from your hypnotic trance, come into the present, and then even let go of the present. This morning we had a practice session where I asked people to leave their computers and walk around for 5 minutes. And they were supposed to walk around with a simple thought. What if this is all a highly convincing dream? What if this is all a highly convincing dream? And after a while, we added one more layer to it. What if I'm not even the dreamer? What happens? My teacher, Nisargadatta Maharaj, used to say that you cannot wake up from the dream. If you imagine enlightenment is waking up from this dream, you're mistaken, because you cannot wake up from this dream. And we asked him why. He says that would be another dream. To wake up from the dream would be another dream. So you don't wake up from the dream. What do you wake up? What is it? He said, you wake up to the dream. You wake up to the dream. So in the moment in the moment you realize this is a dream. It has many dream-like characteristics. It looks so real in that moment, and then poof, it's gone. So real in the moment. Emotions are happening, thoughts are happening, then poof, it's gone. Where did it go? Earlier in the day, I was feeling enthusiastic. After lunch, I was feeling sluggish. Somebody's called me, I felt good. Somebody else called me, I felt bad. And now poof, it's all gone. So it's very dream, in one sense, it's very dreamlike. If you want a very quick instruction for life, here it goes. When awake, see it all as a dream. When sleeping, when dreaming, be awake. So in your dreams, be awake. In waking, see it all as a dream. When living, feel as though you're already dead.
Nice one.
The real reason we meditate is to become a zero. What becomes a zero? Our identity. At least we see through the identity. All this whole Nithya Shanti, he does that, this and that. At least for a little while in the day, I'm going to go crazy otherwise. I get so many messages from all over the world. People saying, "Oh, Nithya, you're this." I'm gonna have a head the size of a watermelon if I believe all that stuff. They don't know how messy I keep my room. They don't know all the. I have all that. I am all of that, right? I'm not just this little shiny part. I'm all of that. I'm all of humanity. Actually, I'm all of you. So I've got to see through my identities, and I've got to see, that's just a part of me. I'm not that. I just am. I am that which witnesses all of that. So the reason we meditate is to see through this. You wake up to the dream of the identities, the stories that we tell. The story about me and you and the world. These are all hypnotic trances. And it's not even personal. Which of your stories is personal? I think there's a quote by Rumi. He says, at least be a little original in your suffering. Come on. At least be a little, same stuff. Everybody, same stuff. And people like Manoj and I, we get called every day and same stuff. I mean, there's nothing original over there. Person after person, same stresses, same relationship, same money, same this person let me down. At least be original. Who is the one here with some original suffering? Very rare to find someone with some original suffering. Same old stuff. So you're dealing with humanity stuff. You're not even dealing with your own stuff anymore. So return to center and then release the center. What does it mean to release the center? Release your ideas. Even in the present moment, they can be, like, for example, the idea of the present is also is a concept. My teacher told me, I said, it's so hard to be in the present. He said, because you think the present is so small. I said, really? Isn't it small? Yeah, he said, you think the past is endless. The future is endless. The present is tiny. I said, but what is the right way of seeing it? He said, the present is endless. The present is so big, the whole universe fits in it. All universes, all possible destinations, all possible yugas, everything fits in here. And your so-called past is nothing but a thought, a little flash in this present. And your so-called future is nothing but a so-called flash in this present. You have never been anywhere but the present. So what a beautiful reframe. He completely changed the whole story. The sun is always shining. Yeah, from one perspective, the sun rises and sets. But those of us who studied a little bit, no, it doesn't rise and set. The sun is always shining somewhere. We were having these calls. I have this course called Arigato Money, and we were having these calls last 10 days. And one of the people was from the US. So today we were having a reflection, and she was sharing, I feel disoriented because, what was she saying? I feel like I've been living in a different world, because she's at nighttime, she's watching us and all our cameras are lit, and we're in daytime, but she's in nighttime. So she's experiencing, every day she's experiencing daytime with us for an hour. She's like, oh, I was disoriented for over 10 days. The sun is always shining. So no matter what's going on in your life, my name is very beautiful that way. Nithya Shanti. Nithya means unchanging. And Shanti means peace. This is not the peace that you can aspire towards. This is not the peace that you can cultivate. This is not the peace that will come from 30 years of meditation. This is not the peace that comes from being good. This is the peace of what you are. Nithya Shanti, unchanging, stable peace, true peace. So I love this quote by a Zen master. He says, enlightenment is an accident. Meditation makes you accident prone. Enlightenment is an accident. Meditation makes you accident prone. Meditation, or you can replace it with any other spiritual practice. What is your path? It makes you accident prone. And so glimpse after glimpse after glimpse, returning to center, from the burning of the hand to the gloves, a basic sense of principles that you follow at the lighthouse. What are your set of principles? Forget about mine, forget about the Buddhas. What are your non-negotiable principles? It's like, that's what I represent. That's very clear for me. You follow that. Like, for example, there was a farmer, and the story goes in the Buddhist scripture, the farmer, he was, these 5 precepts of don't kill and don't steal and all of that. He said, this is too much for me. I'm a simple man. Just give me one. So the monk said, okay, then you just take the first precept, don't kill. He said, fine, I'll follow this one. On his way home, what's it called? A python fell on top of him, and the python is squeezing him. And being a farmer, he has a sickle in his hand. He has a sharp sickle in his hand. So in a flash, he could cut off the head of the python. But he's made a promise to the monk that I will not kill. And the python is winding himself around. And this person is in a big predicament. And he's feeling so tempted, I should now kill this python because it's about to kill me. And he says, no. Of the 5 precepts, I only took 1 precept. I shall not kill. If I don't even do that, then what is the worth? He throws the sickle away. He says, okay, fine. If I have to die, then let me die. In that moment, the python unwinds and goes away. This is actually the way life works. And you may find these stories to be, oh, these are mythological stories. I've lived in the forest. That's exactly the way it works. As long as you're harboring the slightest amount of resentment, the slightest amount of animosity, the forest is a very dangerous place for you. But when you can come to a place of universal loving kindness, I've got no enemies. Everyone is my friend. From the scorpions to the centipedes, to the snakes, to the larger animals, those tigers or lions or whatever. We don't have lions. There in Thailand, we had tigers and we had elephants. We had wild bear as well. And then you realize the moment you have come to a place of, all right, I'm the guest over here. This is your home. I'm the guest. And I've come with really good intention. I don't mean to harm any of you. The humanity's gone crazy in the cities. I just come to find my sanity again. So please, would you allow me as a guest to just stay here for a little while? And I don't want to harm any of you. And not even a little ant I'm going to harm. At least not intentionally. And with that intention, you come there. And every day, one practice, the Buddha actually gives us the practice for monks who stay in a forest. We have to radiate good wishes. Mamang apadako hingsi. I shall not harm the legless ones. Mamang dipadako hingsi. I shall not harm the ones with 2 legs. Mamang chatuppado himsi. I shall not harm the ones with 4 legs. Mamang bahuppado hingsi. I shall not harm the ones with many, many legs, like centipedes have got many legs. Beautiful chant. You're supposed to chant this this is like a rule. You have to do this. If you're a forest monk, you have to do this. You share the benefits of your practice with all beings. You radiate loving kindness, metta bhavana. And in our years of living in the forest, we found no monk who did this practice was ever harmed or bitten by any snake. Even the ants would not bite such people. Because we had some very painful biting ants over there. So you start realizing that the world, the universe, is not a physical place. The universe is a projection of your subconscious mind. And whatever is coming up in your life right now, that is the curriculum. So Ho'oponopono, I love this teaching, Ho'oponopono, 100% responsibility. If this is coming up in my life right now, if all of you have a million questions right now, and you're very confused about what I'm saying, something in me is confused. Something in me is confused. That's why it's coming up. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. What is I'm sorry? Please forgive me. I'm sorry for believing these thoughts. I'm sorry for believing these impressions. Please forgive me. I love you. I love you. I love these doubts. I love these doubts. The teacher loves the doubts to death. The teacher loves the questions to death. Any question you ask, teacher says, good question, lovely question. And you feel very enthusiastic. I'm going to ask one more. Why? Because you love it to death. You love it to death. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We just spent the last 10 days doing something very unusual. We spent 10 days thanking money. I did a course. I was inspired to create this course. And I told people, have 108, any currency, 108 bills. And every day we would tell these bills, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the nonsense I've been thinking about you. If money was a friend, if money was a human being, I mean, the way we've talked about money, the mean things we've said, I mean, in the process of doing these 10 days, I realized money is such a cute and innocent energy. It's so cute, it's so innocent, it just wants to help. And all we do is project horrible thing, mean thing, this thing, it takes you away from God and it's not spiritual. People who do it are not spiritual. Gosh, it was such a beautiful thing. For 10 days, we kept saying to money, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you, thank you. Like people do Japa Mala, 108. We did our Japa Mala with 108 currency notes. And we kept saying to the currency notes, please forgive us. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I played that song. I don't know if some of you heard the song I played in the break, which is Please Me. So when we play that song, we changed the mantra to, I just want to please you. And there were some people in that group, they had literally had tears in their eyes. Because the whole life, money was, how can money please me? And it's never happened that we asked money, how can I please you? I just want to please you. I just want to please you. I just want to, because you're divine energy. How can I please you? And one of the people in our group, she said, I was so moved by that. Right away after the session, I went and I needed to make a donation somewhere. And my household help, I gave her she needed more money. I gave her more money. And otherwise I would have felt sticky around this, contracted around this. I just opened it. So that's what money wants to go to these people. Let it go. Right? And you start getting into the flow of life. I just want to please you. I just want to please you. So my teacher Nisargadatta Maharaj used to say, nothing can trouble us but our own imagination. Nothing can trouble us but our own imagination. Nothing can trouble you. You can have a snake in your, as a monk, I used to have snakes in my room sometimes. Now you can go crazy, or you can, first of all, facts. Very few snakes are poisonous, fact. Secondly, even if they are poisonous, their poison is precious to them. You think the poison is just to be thrown away. No, they're poisonous. They want to be careful with their poison. That's their main self-defense mechanism. That's how they get their food. They don't want to just waste their poison. They're not going to mess with you unless you mess with them. So I would look at them as a roommate has come. Oh, come on in, welcome. Oh, are you okay in that corner over there? All right, you enjoy, right? And just that loving energy, beautiful. Nirbair, nirbhay. When you don't have animosity, you don't have fear. Welcome, 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 welcome. You welcome everyone. Let's just pause for a minute. Let's tune in. Nice deep breath. A friend of mine, the same yoga teacher, she told me a very beautiful explanation. I didn't know this, of this. We've all heard of the Gyan Mudra, right? So she was explaining the meaning of the Gyan Mudra to me. So she said, this is tamasic. Tamasic is what, like Manoj was discussing, all the things you don't want, don't like, focusing on don't want all the time. Then this is tamasic. Focusing on what you really want is rajasic. Really want, really want, really want. So don't want, really want. Sattvic, you feel the joy like it's already happened. To be grateful for what you want before it happens. This is the science of miracles. So you live in the miraculous space. It's already so. Instead of doing things for joy, you do things from joy. Instead of waiting for this session to go fantastically well and feeling joyful, I'm going to be joyful anyway. Now, whether you people like it or not, whether internet works or not, I'm going to be in my joy. This is Sattvic. This is the third one. Tamasic, don't want. Rajasic, really want. Sattvic, feeling it now. And then the ego bends down and touches reality, touches the now, and becomes a zero. The identity bends down and becomes a zero, right? So behind every problem is a beautiful possibility. Behind every possibility is great joy. Behind the joy is the present moment. And in the present moment is my true nature. What I focus on expands. So that's the journey we're on. So just like Manoj had a nice thing with this thing, I'm also giving you something. Okay, Tamasic, Rajasic, Sattvic. The ego bends down. Instead of being lost in its identity, you bend down, touch reality, come to center, return to center, and then release the center. And this is Gyan Mudra, which is why you meditate in Gyan Mudra. When you meditate, you can either do this or you can do this. This is a more intense form of Gyan Mudra. Right. The root. Come to the root. Yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to share. It's very interesting, Manoj, that my conception is so similar to yours. The way I conceive it is behind every problem is a possibility. Behind every possibility is joy. Behind the joy is a present moment. And behind the present moment is my true nature. And what I focus on expands.
Absolutely.
So the first two, the problem and possibility, that's the conscious mind which thinks. Behind problem and possibility is joy. Joy is the feelings. So in your case, you had two things of feeling, neutralizing and reframing the mind with feeling. So that's the subconscious mind feels, the limbic system feels. And behind that is the present moment. And your reptilian brain is completely in the now. It's completely instinctive, completely living in the now. Until you touch that reptilian brain, starts changing, the transformation is not complete. You got that deep-rooted patterns, this pattern not only from this lifetime, from God knows how many lifetimes. That's why just thinking about it is not enough. You got to think it till you feel it, and feel it till you become it, and the patterns start changing from a very root level. And there, that's a super conscious mind. And then beyond that is, remember this? Never mind. So now that's when the fun begins. Never mind. And now you're in the dream, but you're not off the dream.
Yeah. So
go ahead, Manoj. Yeah.
Joe Dispenza, when you said this feeling, just repeat that statement, feeling and thinking. Repeat that statement, then I'll add on.
Which was the statement again?
That statement of feeling and thinking, you just repeat that statement, then I'll add on to that.
So you're talking about think it till you feel it till you become it, that one?
We always feel what we are thinking, something like that you said.
Yeah, I'm always living in the feelings of my thinking. Yeah.
Right. So I'm always living in the feelings of my thinking. Okay. And Joe Dispenza, he says it beautifully. Always think higher than you feel.
Beautiful.
So that is the reframing of the mind is nothing but, thinking higher than you feel. So I don't feel good now, but I have the possibility of thinking higher. I'm feeling terrible, but my conscious mind can think anything. I may be feeling terrible, but I can think beautiful. So the conscious mind is so aware that it can reverse any situation, no matter what. So I had so many similar things like snakes. We have umpteen amount in the Gurukul, and our children, most of the children, I would say at least 50% of the children catch the snakes. This is the snake, and then okay, give it there, like that. Initially, in my earlier school, I had touched the snake, so someone removed the fear at least of touching. Then in this Gurukul, every now and then they will come with the snake, and initially I said, okay, keep it away. By the first 2 years, then I said, okay, there was one snake which was in our kutir. We have me and Nina, we stay in a 64 square feet there, 8 by 8. So there's a green viper, and I said, okay, now don't bother. Yeah, it's been there since few days. So I keep speaking to it, and okay, leave it. Tell all the children, listen, when you are catching it, okay, then just say the 4 mantras, I love you, thank you, sorry, and go keep it and just say, okay, we just playing with you. So that snake story, a lot of similarities.
So I feel like because you mentioned the 4 mantras and because you gave people a very practical how, I also want to give a very practical how. And the how is simply this. Life is deciding the curriculum. Whatever is coming up throughout your day, life is deciding that. It is not a mistake that it's coming up. Life is not happening to you. Like Muji says, life is not vindictive, it is corrective.
Beautiful.
So life is not here to punch you and push you. The rumble strip is not there to trouble you. Because you're going on the rumble strip, it's hurting you. Right. So get off the rumble strip. Come to the royal high. There's a royal highway right here. My teacher used to walk around the monastery and say, how are you suffering today? And some of us would say, yeah, we're really suffering today. He said, yeah, come, step here where it's always cool. Why are you sitting in the fire? Step here where it's always. What is here? Here is here. Here is here. Right. Step here where it's all. Get out of your identities. Raise, like you said, always think higher than you feel. Raise that. Raise the frequency. And then those powerful thoughts become powerful feelings. Those powerful feelings get you into a state of being. And in that state of being, everything starts to resolve itself. You go from I am this and I am that to just I am. So throughout the day, the curriculum will keep coming up. Instead of being reactive, you take 100% responsibility. This is exactly what I need. This is good medicine. Tathastu. how wonderful. We learned to say arigato. Arigato is Japanese for thank you, thank you, thank you. The whole 10 days we kept saying arigato, arigato, arigato. Whatever happened, arigato. And so thank you, thank you, thank you, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm sorry for judging you. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I love you. You know, who are you saying I love you to? Forget about the people of this world. You have to say I love you to all your thoughts. The day you can say I love you to all your thoughts and all your memories. Some people write to me and say, Nithya, I've been doing Ho'oponopono, nothing is changing. You're using Ho'oponopono to try to upturn your thoughts. What is this? You're using any tool you can use. You'll use Manoj's tools, you'll use my tools. This is called spiritual materialism. This is called spiritual bypassing. You're taking spiritual concepts and trying to dodge your actual experience. Don't dodge anything. Go through it. The way out is through. So whatever is showing up is exactly what needs to show up. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you and thank you. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. And now you come to a zero state. And from there, a beautiful dissolution happens. In the beginning, it'll be momentary, but as you go along, you get a taste of this. This is called Vishuddhi Rasa. You get a taste of what purification is like. And the Buddha says, Sabbang Rasang, Dhamma Rasang Janati. Of all the tastes in the world, you might have been to the best restaurants. You might have had the best girlfriend or boyfriend. You might have, got the best massage. You might have gone surfing, scuba diving. You might have been to the moon. Doesn't matter. Sabba Rasang, Dhamma Rasang Janati. The taste of your inner essence beats them all. It's a tasteless taste. You can have all the milkshakes of the world, all the juices of the world. Ultimately, only water is going to quench your thirst. This transparent water, this tasteless water is what's going to quench your thirst. Nothing less than zero.
So in Guruji's language,
Yeah, there you go.
In
Guruji's
Guruji's language, this identity, he would, throughout his life, he only hammered one thing to all of us. He was actually, many people loved him like crazy, and many people hated him like crazy. Okay, and people would ask me. I mean, I'm just, you're coming from that Zen background, so very much it relates with me, because people would ask me that how do you sit with Guruji? He's saying the same thing day in and day out and day in, and the 5 fundamentals. How many times are you going to hear? I say, I'm not hearing what he's speaking. I am hearing the silence between, the words. And he would keep silence suddenly literally for 1 hour, and everyone's waiting. Now he's going to speak. And inside I'm laughing and laughing and laughing, because I know there's nothing to get, It's just that you're just absorbing that being part. And his favorite line was, instead of the zero, he would say, you are a nobody, nobody. So your somebodyness is the problem. I am Manoj. I am the director of Gurukul. I am this one. I am that one. This is you ass. I mean, this favorite word was ass. So people would run away. Who does he think? He thinks he's some big cousin. He's calling everyone an ass. Look at him. And he would laugh. We would laugh. Like that. So just laugh, because from what context? And I actually gave him the word, like people saying, how can you just surrender? I said, because I don't use my head. He is a Zen master. A Zen master, sound with one hand clapping. So don't put your mind, if you're trying to logically dissect him, you lost it. There is no mind. You see from what context, from where he was coming. So we come with a very orthodox means background, like SSY means religious and all. I remember we were in Gorakshnath cave. It's a beautiful peak of a cave where we climb, hours together, and in Dehri Ashram, Gorakshnath is there. We were 80 of us, and me and Nina were, it was late in the night, around 1 o'clock in the night, and I get a call. Guruji calls me, and I go out, and only he and Nina, my wife, they were sitting, and Manju, come. What she's saying? Yes. So I thought, you're not taking care of her. I said, why, Guruji? Babu, once in a while, have some wine with her. So I got a heart attack. Wine from Guruji? Why? Because see, from what context he was saying, from Nina's context, he could say, yeah, have this, and otherwise, wine, and there was nowhere in SSY it is ever heard. He would treat different people differently according to their background. So we would always say it's like a Zen master, That's why I had no problem, because Zen master, so you don't put your head. If you are going to analyze, then there's a lot of head, then a lot of problems. Continue.
I'm done. I just want you reminding me of the Zen teaching: great faith, great doubt, great awakening. So great faith, we will have to have a lot of faith in ourselves, in others, in our teachers, in our teachings. But there will definitely come a point when you will doubt every single thing. Every single thing. Nithya has said and Manoj has said, all of this nonsense spirituality. You'll doubt it all. You'll doubt everything that you believed. You're going to come to the brink. And it takes great faith and it takes great doubt, great awakening. So it's beautiful. If you're in a state of faith, good for you. If you're in a state of doubt, good for you. Heighten the faith, heighten the doubt. Let there be a nice awakening. Let's take a 5-minute break and then we come back for the last 25 minutes.
All right.
5 minutes break. We'll play some music. Take a 5 minutes. Stretch your legs. All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm just gonna again paste the link to, in case you want to make a contribution to rebuild the Gurukulam that was damaged in the hurricane. The link is in the comments. You can have a look at that. So I'm just going to take a few questions, and I think Manoj will also join us in a bit.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah. So one question is, what are the difference between consciousness and awareness? So I'll just share my understanding. And of course, the thing is, these are the words, right? The words are pointing to something. So words can be described in many different things. In fact, the word consciousness is one of the most, in psychology and in neuroscience, it's one of the biggest mysteries right now. What is consciousness? But they're trying to understand that. So the way that I see it, the way that I conceptualize those words is consciousness of something. So if I'm the capacity to know, right? So there's a nice blue bottle I have here. So looking at my blue bottle, there is a knowing, conscious of a blue bottle. Conscious of the hand that was holding that blue bottle. So conscious of that. Conscious of the feeling inside the hand. It's always conscious of. But as you go along, a very interesting thing happens. You start becoming conscious of being conscious. This is fascinating. Conscious of being conscious is like it's folded back on itself. That is awareness. Awareness is being conscious of being conscious. And that's the way I conceptualize it. But there are different people, different teachers will use those words in different ways. For some people, consciousness is capital C. It is the ultimate truth of life, which is also a valid way of looking at it. So you want to add to that, Manoj? How do you look at consciousness and awareness?
Yeah, I also read this, being conscious. Consciousness is being conscious. That means being present. That means being aware. That means being aware of this moment. So the more aware we are, the more our consciousness grows. So that is by this thing. But these words are always twisting. As long as we focus on increasing our awareness of anything, inwards, outwards, you are in the your direction is proper. That's all I say. So every day, I mean, in these 90 days, I have fought my own internal fears, which I thought I had never had, but I caught so many of them, so many, that I said, wow, because my body was getting some aches. And I said, no, then there's some untruth I'm living. What is it? And then I started to dig and I could find, oh, this is the, bachpan mein ye fear tha. This fear was there. Oh my God. And it could be of the previous lives, definitely, So if the body is diseased, not at ease, that means definitely there are blocks, and then we got to figure out, and awareness is the key. That's all.
Beautiful. There's a very quick question I'll answer. Somebody wanted me to complete that statement. When awake, see it all like a dream. When dreaming, be awake. Be awake within the dream. That's called lucid dreaming, right? So when dreaming, know that you're dreaming. So in the dream, be awake. In waking day, in the waking life, see it all like a dream. When living, have a sense that you're already dead. That's a very powerful teaching. There's a Zen teaching which says, who is moving this corpse about? Who is moving this? So if you actually can practice like that, you see this is actually a corpse. Because that's the destiny of this body, it's a corpse. Who is moving this corpse about? Very powerful teaching. what is going on? Who's moving this? The corpse is just doing its thing. So that's like becoming a zero. So when living, see yourself as already dead. And when dying, be maximally alive. So you twist everything around.
In continuation to what you said was Lao Tzu. You know, there's a story of Lao Tzu. He was a great master in his own way. So he was sleeping, and then he got up very, very perplexed, and he's really scratching his head and thinking a lot. And the disciples come and ask him, "What happened? What happened? What happened?" He's saying, "I'm, totally confused." So they asked, "What happened?" He said, "No, I had a dream. I had a dream that I was a butterfly. In my dream, I was a butterfly." So they said, what's the big thing about it?" He's saying, "No, it's really confused me now." He said, "What about it?" So he says, "Now I'm confused. Am I Lao Tzu who dreamt that I was a butterfly? Or is the butterfly dreaming that it has dreamt that it is Lao Tzu?" So it was very much similar to that, that everything, it's just a joyful journey. And if we can enjoy this journey with the ups and downs, we have that song, "Upar niche, niche upar, लहर चले जीवन की, लहर चले जीवन की, नादा है जो बैठ किनारे, ऊपर वतन की, ऊपर राह वतन की." Then it goes la 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 da da ra 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 ra. सर पे लाल टोपी रूसी फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी. So I love singing is my passion, so I just keep on.
Actually, with that, it must be difficult to defeat you on Antakshari. So you were Nithya asking me to explain the living and dying part in more detail. So basically, Nithya, what it means is you die to the small self. The small self is the persona, right? The persona that said, I'm this, I'm not this, I'm good at this, I'm not good at this, I like this, I dislike this. Because that keeps changing. Your personality keeps changing. So to see through the personality it's in a way, it's like a death. You see through your stories, the stories that you've been telling yourself. Who are you without your stories? Who am I without the story of Nithya Shanti? Then there just is a presence over here. So you go from persona to presence, and that's what it means. It is a dying to the small self to wake up to your big self, your true self. And it's not about quashing it or calling it bad or anything. No, you just see through it. You just try, look through that role, that identity, that those things you stuck onto yourself. Who am I without these stories? Because when you say you're tall compared to some people, but you're short compared to some people. You say that you're generous compared to some people, but you're not generous compared to some people. You say that you're wise, but you're wise. So this is all comparative, right? You say you're sad compared to some times, but actually you're doing really well compared to other times. So none of these statements are ultimately true. So you're dying to the sense of identity you created for yourself. And then, as we all know, and like some of you, I think in a group this size, 200 people, there are many people who've had a near-death experience. It always happens. So I've had a near-death experience. I almost died in a car accident, and maximally alive. When approaching death, nothing has to be done. You're maximally alive. Everything shuts down. All your normal preoccupations are gone, and you're there. Right? And the beautiful thing is, when you've done spiritual practice, then you're familiar with that state. Otherwise, it's like, it's all happening instinctively. But then you're familiar with what that is. And a very deep confidence arises in you. That yes, there will be things that come and go in my life, but I shall meet every experience with presence, with clarity. And that deep confidence, that is the biggest insurance anybody can ever give you. Nobody else has to tell you anything. Deep inside you, something says, yes, I'm fine. And that's where trust and surrender comes from. That is the unshakable foundation. So it helps if that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we have some more questions. Go ahead, Manoj, you want to say something?
Yeah, some question they've got how to think positive. So
please take that, yeah.
I don't know how to think positive. You can't think positive. I would say it's a matter of practice, and the more we reframe our mind. So we think there are many positive thinkers, but in action and behavior they are super negative. So it is not about thinking positive. It's about becoming positive, being positive, thinking positive and being positive. So by thinking continuously and going on reframing our mind, over a period of time, you become positive. So it becomes a new nature, this one. So the nature, we just got to change our nature, if at all it is negative. Someone say, how do you give an example of framing an antidote? So I already gave you, it's like, I don't want to fall sick, I don't want to fall sick, I don't want to fall sick, and I am healthy, I'm healthy. So we have a lot of affirmations like this recorded. I can share it with you anytime, and through Nithya ji, we can share it to you.
I'm going to gamify this. So anybody who makes any contribution to Manoj's hospital, Gurukul rebuild, we'll send the links to the very powerful affirmations Manoj has recorded in his own voice on a variety of topics, relationships and money and everything. And he's put such a lot of effort into it. So I think you should get it, but you should honor the getting of it. So make a small, even if it's a small contribution to the work of rebuilding the Gurukulam, and we'll find a way to send you. Put your email address and your number there, and we'll find a way of sending the affirmations to you. And also, I would say that, you mentioned Abraham Hicks. They have a nice technique for this. They call it
segment intending.
That's also one, but it's like reaching for the better feeling thought. What's a better feeling thought? So whatever your current thought is, you come up with a new thought. Like, for example, let's say the thought is, everyone's too busy in my house. No one has time for me. And how does that thought feel? It doesn't feel very good. It feels kind of low. Okay. So what would be a better feeling thought? The better feeling thought is, okay, at least they're there. At least okay, it feels slightly better. At least they're there. Fine. Okay, what else? Then, I have the ability to reach out to my friends. My friends are always just one phone call away. Slightly better. Okay. Then another better feeling thought could be, one doesn't have to always depend on the vertical dimension. Vertical dimension is your bloodline, family and relatives. One can also reach out to the horizontal dimension, because sometimes you're the black sheep of the family. You can't connect to other people in your family, but then you can find your own tribe. And so I'm going to find my own tribe. So basically, wherever you are, you reach for a slightly better thought, slightly better thought, slightly better thought. And you climb your way out of that mess. And they recommend writing it down. It helps. So you check with every thought, is it feeling better or same or worse? And literally doing this for 10 minutes, you can get to a completely new place. You never imagine, wow, I've come out of the woods. I've come out into the sunlight. You just take step by step by step. And like this, you can train yourself to think thoughts that are more helpful.
So someone has written here, when you write, and this is a very interesting question. When you write an antidote, initially it may not feel true, Uma Nair. Yes, absolutely, I agree that, most people I have seen in the world, including Nina for many, many years, okay, they speak facts. Whatever the fact is, like you're a monkey. Yeah, he looks like a monkey. They will say the fact like this, and forget about others. They will tell the fact about themselves. So in the aspect of being truthful, we speak truth about ourselves, but we don't realize that truth is a perception of our truth. So one of the principles, if you can take this back today, I think you've done a great favor to yourself. This subconscious mind always lives in the present. That means it takes everything as a present. So if you say, it's true that I am feeling bad, it takes it that way only. It's feeling bad, and it will process that bad feeling only because it takes it in the present. It lives in the present. So whenever we write an antidote, we say, I am healthy. So it takes it, I will be healthy. It will process, I will be healthy, and you will never be healthy because I will be healthy. So whatever you put in, it takes it as a present. So when you say it's beautiful, or if you say, anyway, thank you, I love you, it takes it as a present and it starts reprocessing or processing that. And that's how we get programmed. So someone said, how do you reprogram our mind? It's a practice. You got to practice it daily. We have number of, I used to call it workshops till I met Nithya, and I like that word Joyshops. So I converted everything to Joyshop. So in my words, sometimes it comes workshop and I say, no, Joyshop. Just like that, from Manoj to Manjo, you can convert. So basically, we call it weekly. Joyshop is the link. I'll ask her to put it. And you can join any of them. Most of them are, many of them are voluntary contribution and some of them have nominal. But it's a process, it's a series that how to reprogram. There's same 5 steps, but you go deeper and deeper and deeper into it.
So how do people find these? Can someone put a link from your group where people can find out about the programs and how they can join them? Maybe one of you can. Someone just posted it right now. Very nice.
Weekly Joyshops. Weekly.
Kamla just posted something. Kamla, but you posted it to all panelists. You have to post it to everybody, all panelists and attendees. Otherwise, they can't see it. So make sure you post it to all panelists and attendees. Yeah, Julie just did something. Very good. Any other questions? What's the time like? Yeah. Maybe we should. I'd like to do a little prayer before we end. So just keep a few minutes for that.
Prayer, and I'll ask Vedo to sing one song. And this, then you can do the prayer after that.
Someone's asking, is your Rishi Gurukulam for underprivileged children?
It is for all children. So underprivileged, privileged, and we have adopted 12 villages just for your thing around there. We do a lot of work in the villages, so that's where my heart is actually, and that's where Bindu does a lot of job in that.
Let me just take this question. When you say emotional pain is telling you don't believe that, it's a lie, aren't we still clinging on to some beliefs and having an identity? How do we go through emotional pain and see the other end? Yeah. So all I would say is just don't even say it's a lie. Just say, what am I believing right now? Because like we said earlier, we are living in the feelings of our thinking. And there's evidence for that throughout the day, right? You're living in the feelings of your thinking. No one can be depressed throughout the day. That's a fact. Because when you're opening the fridge, in that moment, you're not depressed. You're curious what's in the fridge. And you open, you find, oh, there's nothing there. You get depressed again. You throw it. Nobody can be depressed 24/7. But you constantly have depressing thoughts, right? So as long as you're believing those thoughts, you're in that state. So question your thinking. What am I believing right now? What's going on right now? Could there be, and I love this beautiful teaching from Manoj. I think one of the best teachings today is always think higher than you feel. So is there, what can I reach for a better feeling thought? Even if it's a 0.1% better feeling thought, can I reach for that? Can I reach for that? What would be a better feeling thought in this situation? If you can't reach for it, read a book that inspires you, uplifts you, right? Stay with people. I love what Manoj said. If you have at least one person in your life that you can talk to and open up your heart with, you will never commit suicide. What a beautiful teaching. We keep ourselves so stuck. One of my friends, Sandy, runs a suicide helpline in Pune. And so many people's lives have been saved just because someone was able to listen to them. Not because they have an answer, but just because they were able to listen to them. Listening, even without giving advice, is so powerful. So how do we go through emotional pain and see the other side? Fully feeling your feelings is healing. Center, it's called CORE, core. Come to the core. Come to the center of the remaining energy. Whatever you're feeling it in the heart, come to the center of your heart. And it'll shift to your belly, feel it in the center of your belly. It'll shift to your head, feel it in the center of your head. Keep going to the center, because in the center is nothing. In the center is emptiness. It's all of this universe is whirling around a total nothing. So you surf that experience into the center of the vortex, which is the nothing, and you come out to the other side. On the other side of the black hole is a whole other new dimension, a whole other new universe. But you got to go through it. All right. So much fun. So let me just say, I'll keep my prayer short, and then I'd like Manoj, you will also. You want to have, who did you say, Manoj, would be singing a song?
My daughter Vedosi to sing a small ending note to this.
I think this is good. Let's just end with Vedosi. I don't have to do anything. This is perfect.
No. Then after that, you do the prayer, of course.
See you, Vedosi.
Hi.
Yeah, she was there listening, and she was saying, "Awesome, awesome." He's awesome.
She was on her phone playing a video game or something. I'm sure.
No.
It works so well.
All right, go for it, Vedosi. Yeah.
Okay. So the song is called "Can't Help Falling in Love with You."
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's just about falling in love with everything, I guess. Wise men say only fools rush in. If I can't help falling in love with you, shall I stay? Will it be I can tell.
Rising.
Rising in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea. Darling, so it goes.
Some things are meant to be.
Take my hand. Take my whole life too. If I can't help
Rising in love with rising in love with you all 202 million and 2 billion people.
What
That's what life
fun.
is all about.
Loved it.
Yes, we can have the prayer for you.
Yeah, I just want to keep it very, I want to change the prayer, make it really small. And maybe we can all say it together wherever we are. May I be a channel of blessings for someone today. May I be a channel of blessings for someone today. I am now a channel of blessing in the world. In the world. In the world. And whatever has been shared today, whatever is suited to your most innermost being, may only that be absorbed and integrated. Everything else just fall away. Only the core of what is needed for you in this journey. Don't have to fill your mind with concepts. Don't have to look at your notes too much. Just trust. There is some central seed which you came to get here today. And that's already gone and it's already been planted. So just trust that and just live your natural life, your intuitive life. Trust your process. Trust your process. May you be happy for a good reason. May you be happy for no reason. May you be happy for in every season. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. Tathastu. Tathastu. Lots of gratitude.
Wonderful, wonderful.
No,
Officially it is off, but now people can just...
Yeah, perfect. Those who want to leave can leave. Those who want to stay on for a little longer can stay on.
Yeah, you can just casually ask questions and we just have a... You know.
And now Vedoshi will answer all the questions. Now Manoj and I are keeping quiet. Vedoshi, you want to answer some questions? Look at all these questions. We have all kinds of questions there.
How do I hate a person who is constantly hurting me emotionally?
Vedoshi will answer.
I don't know.
How do I not hate a person who's constantly hurting me emotionally?
Yeah, come on, you can do it. See, you're the next version, right? You're the 2.0 version of Manoj, so you know better answers than Manoj.
How do I not hate a person who is hurting me emotionally?
I don't know. I guess the 4 mantras.
The 4 mantras. How would you answer if one of your girlfriends called you and said, "Hey, I'm hating this person"? I'm sure you would give her very good advice. What advice would you give her? Oh, feeling shy.
I don't know.
How wonderful. Yeah.
You say, Nithya.
Nothing's coming. I think you have to just hate in that moment.
how do I not hate a person? Well, when you hate, like he said. But at the same time, we don't have, I mean, there's no choice. When you hate at that moment. But understanding that hate will never get you anywhere. That understanding has to be there. That hate comes from a deep pain and it comes from a lower. So by hating someone, you're not going to gain anything. That's the whole fact. That we forget the thing that by hating someone, you're actually harming ourselves only. Why I hate someone? Because I hate myself somewhere inside. That's why I hate the other. So if I can shift my, why I love others? Because I love myself. So let's be more compassionate to ourselves. This hate comes from some deep pain and hurt within. So we are hurting inside. So I hate someone. If I love inside, so the whole idea is first, of course, you accept it, and then you shift that by hating. We are adding poison. I said, we are adding poison in our body. So if you want to add poison, the choice is absolutely yours. You are most free to hate and hate more and more and more, because the sufferer is only me. So this understanding that the suffering is me, that understanding will take you to shift from hate to the next level. You cannot hate to love immediately, but you can shift from hate to the next higher thought. As he just said, think higher than you feel.
What I found with hatred is no matter what the person did, they did it. There was an incident, they did something. But then after that, I'm doing it to myself. I keep thinking about it again and again. They said that, they did that, they betrayed me like that, they spoiled my reputation like that. And they just did it, whatever, they did it then. But then I'm keeping it alive moment by moment by moment. And let me at least take responsibility for that, what I'm doing to myself. Let me at least heal that. Forget about what they did. Start with that. Start with healing yourself. And then from there, you see how it goes. The intelligence will expand from there. I had a lady years back, she contacted me. She was going through a very rough patch in her marriage. And she said, Nithya, this is happening. This is happening. He's cheated on me and this and that. And we have kids. And then she even said, don't tell me to forgive him. Huh? You can say anything else, but don't say forgive him. I don't want that advice. Forgive him. Because that's not going to happen. So I found that really amusing. So then I said, yes, don't forgive him. But can you at least forgive yourself for being unable to forgive him? And she came for my retreat some years later. She said, Nithya, that was amazing, because I actually began to forgive myself. Yeah, I cannot forgive him, and I forgive myself for being unable to forgive him. My whole life, I'm not going to forgive him. But all you got to do is touch the forgiveness. And that's a state of consciousness. The transformation starts to happen. And the key opened. And then she was done. She was free. And she came. We had a retreat in Bali, and she came for that. And she was sharing. In fact, she wanted to give up her job and become a psychologist just because of that experience. So we have to just go with where we are. And there's an intelligence there. You trust that.
In fact, now what you just shared, it reminded me when she was in 10th standard. I would go to the Gurukul 3-4 days in a week, and she would be studying there. So she said, Papa, I have this problem. This person is like this. You tell me what to do. And then with that, my standard dialogue was the 4 mantras. Thank you, love you, sorry, forgive me. So she said, you tell me what to do. And then she told me then, but Papa, don't give me those 4 mantras therapy. Okay. But I don't have anything else, Vedosi. I have no answer to your question. All I can say is just use those 4 things. And then, so anyway, that incident was over. Next week, I go back to school. And then she says, I said, well, okay. Then she says, Papa, that problem is solved. I resolved it. So I said, so what happened? What did you do? 4 mantras. You remember that? Yeah. So initially they are very resistant to these, open. But once you do it and then you find the result and say, okay, might as well,
What someone's asking, what does Vedosi mean?
What?
There's a question, what does Vedosi mean?
Oh, like the Vedas.
Like the Vedas.
Vedo, Jaisi, Vedosi.
Vedo, Jaisi, Vedosi. I heard one cassette from Swami Sukobodhananda, and he was using this when she was pregnant, Nina, and that's the name. Vedosi, Vedo, Jaisi, Vedosi. But we added instead of SI, we made it CI, VODO, VEDO.
It looks like the name of a best-selling YouTube musician, very soon. a YouTube sensation called Vedosi with millions of hits.
Yes.
Tathastu. Answered. I'm just looking at some of the questions. There's so many questions. We only got to some of them.
How do I be positive state of mind when I'm physical pain every moment due to health issues? So I can share a little tip with you. I'm telling you, I mean, the same thing. The choice is ours. We can curse our body. Like suppose you get a shoulder ache or you get a back ache or whatever ache, we can curse it all our life and we will increase the pain. As simple as that. Because when we curse it, we drop in our emotions, and what we like Nithya said, where we focus on is what will expand. So if we are focusing on the pain, it will increase definitely. If we focus on thank you for the pain, because pain, believe me, we just made one video couple of weeks back on this only. The pain is, we need to thank the pain, because how does we have a mouth to speak to each other. How does the body speak to us? Imagine, feel compassionate for the body. How is the body speaking? The only mechanism the body has is a sensation which is calling pain. So pain is not painful. Pain is a sensation telling you, hey dear, you have gone off track, take care of me. Take care of that muscle which I have not taken care of. Take care of that part which is paining because you have neglected me. So I am speaking to you and I am just telling you that we need to take care. And in fact, we need to be very, very sorry. Please, I'm sorry that I didn't take care. Please forgive me. I love you. Now onwards, I'll take care. And that's why we stretch and we make that part of the body perfectly okay. So there's no choice. We need to be thankful because it is speaking. Body pain means it is speaking to us. We need to be sensitive to that speaking. And instead that, we curse it and then we add more curses in our life.
And I would just add exactly to what you're saying is just talk to your body. I found it's fascinating. Just talk to your body. What do you need, and talk to your body, listen to your body. And I have really been amazed at how well my body responds. I just talk to it. So what do you need? And tomorrow I'm going to be in the sun a lot tomorrow. So we're going to be in the sun a lot tomorrow. So just be okay, and just take it. Or if you have to lift something really heavy now, just be okay. Just take it. All right. Or tomorrow we're going to be traveling a lot, so you may not get as much sleep. Just take it. It'll be fine. You'll be all right. And I talk to the body, and my body really responds.
Absolutely.
So let's have a good, healthy relationship with our body like that.
Fantastic.
Like for example, with coronavirus, I've convinced my body, you're asymptomatic. You've already had it. It's done. It's done. So it's like you're such a good immune system. You've had it and it's done. And so I'm very relaxed now. It's all right. I'm an asymptomatic carrier. It must have come to me. It's already gone, and I'm finished.
That's what we told the whole family here. That is come and gone. It's gone. Come and gone. I yet go and hug people whoever come around, and it doesn't. I mean, that thought doesn't even occur to me. Honestly, I don't know what's happening in the outside world. I get to know from someone or the other. I said these 90 days have been the best days of my entire life. Honestly, I'm speaking. It's just too good because I have never gone so deep within, and I got this chance to go deep within. So universe has given us this great opportunity. It's given everyone, but some people curse it, some people argue, and some of us are loving this time.
They say that when you put a prisoner in a jail and you close the door, the jail door, he's like, get me out, don't leave me here, I'm claustrophobic, get me out. And you put a monk in a prison and you close the door, he says, thank you, meditation time. The same situation for one person is like hell and the other person is heaven. It's exactly the same. Did you know that the Tibetans have a retreat? 3 years, 3 days, and 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days. And they'll stay in the same place. They make a special room, a special hut.
My God.
Once they go inside, they cement the door of the hut so they can't get out. There's only a small slot where food can come in. And they spend 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days inside this hut doing intensive practices. And that for many people is enough to make them go crazy, like solitary confinement. You're going to go mad, you're going to go crazy. But they come out luminous. And the entire town and village comes to greet them. And not just one, they do many such retreats. So it's just go to YouTube. You'll find stories of many yogis who do this. So you see how for some of us this would be the most scary thing ever, and for them it's the most blissful thing ever.
I love, I go once in a year, 7 days for, we call it, Guruji has given us that sadhana of Padiyatra. That means you don't take any money and you don't, just 2 pair of clothes, one you wear and one on the back. And just, you sleep anywhere, you eat anywhere, and you do the bhiksha. And most of the time I've seen, I don't even do the bhiksha because people just come and offer. So India is so rich that I don't have to ask for food. 80% of the time someone comes and sometimes like a child, I want some even thumbs up. And I say, okay, can I have one thumbs up? You know, I've got thumbs ups and fruits. And it's just amazing.
How long do you do this for?
Once in a year. Now after Diwali again I'll go.
How many days?
7 days I go.
Wow, amazing.
7 days every year. It's my practice every year.
Do you worry about your dad? No?
He's taken care of.
But mom was so worried that she like called Nani and she got so scared and she was crying because he didn't pick up the call or something. And then like Nani's like, what are you learning in his classes then? There's God and all that.
The purpose of the family is not to learn from our classes. The purpose of family is to keep us down to earth. People like Manoj and I fly too high, come down, come down, come down. Their job is not to listen to us. Their job is to come down, come down.
Wonderful. So I think, thank you all for being here, all the 200 of you. We've had a fantastic time and I really enjoyed. I learned a lot also, and especially the last part which you told Nithya, talk to the body. This is something I've been telling everyone, that anything which is happening in your mind, don't think the thoughts, speak out the thoughts. So it's called talking aloud therapy. Similar, but this is to the body or anything in life. Just speak it out.
For example,
Don't think it, because the thinking, we have 60,000 thoughts. When you speak it, the brain gets the clarity of what you are actually thinking. So that speaking out therapy is just some amazing. I use it a lot. But what I picked up from you was
you're mumbling in the house and he's just doing his
no,
therapy.
I don't do it in front of them. That's really I walk out and in the loo, washroom, wherever I'm alone.
Even I've tried it.
Kya cheez?
Even I've tried it. It's really good.
Oh, really? So give an example of what incident you tried it for.
For everything, like I feel so connected to myself when I do that. Like I feel like everything's like sorted out. Like everything.
Give an example, Sita.
Example, like I mean, like suppose I'm just feeling down, so I'm like, oh, what happened? Why you feeling like this? Oh, okay. Are it's okay, it's cool. Are okay, you're feeling like this. But I mean, I just like
You're talking to yourself. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, but speaking it aloud so you can hear it. So we don't think it, we speak it. Whatever we are thinking, we put it down in words to your own self.
I'm going to try. After this is done, I'm going to go to my room and start talking.
Amazing results. Yeah.
Then I'll also be glowy like Vedusi and Manoj.
I got like so much clarity after that. Like everything just seems like everything's like solved.
So people ask you that, do you get your advice from Manjo? I said, no. I talk to myself and I get my advice. I don't listen to anybody else. Good. Someone's asking you to do a Mangal Maitri. So I'll just do a small chant, wishing happiness for everybody, and we'll end with that. All right. And if you want to repeat after me, you can. Mera Mangal, Mera Mangal. Mera Mangal, Mera Mangal. Mera Mangal hoye re. Mera Mangal hoye re. Tera Mangal, Tera Mangal. Tera Mangal, Tera Mangal. Tera Mangal hoye re. Tera Mangal hoye re. Sabhi ka Mangal, Sabhi ka Mangal. सभी का मंगल, सभी का मंगल, सभी का मंगल हो रे, सभी का मंगल हो रे। जन जन मंगल, जन जन मंगल, जन जन मंगल, जन जन मंगल, जन जन सुखिया हो रे, जन जन सुखिया हो रे। दसों दिशाओं के सब प्राणी, दसों दिशाओं के सब प्राणी मंगल लाभी हों रे, मंगल लाभी हों रे। निर्भय हों निर्वैर बने सब, निर्भय हों निर्वैर बने सब, सभी निरामय हो रे, सभी निरामय हो रे। तेरा मंगल, तेरा मंगल, तेरा मंगल, तेरा मंगल, मेरा मंगल, मेरा मंगल, मेरा मंगल, मेरा मंगल, सभी का 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 मंगल हो रे, सभी का मंगल हो रे। समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु। Beautiful, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And thank you, Manoj and Vedosi.
Thank you,
Thank
Nithya.
you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So nice. Be well. And if anybody wants to catch the recording of this, I'll be sending it to Manoj. And also, I'll just give you my link. You can catch the recording if you want, if you missed part of it or something. So the website I've created recently is called belucid.in. And I'll give you the recording for this session, as well as the link. Again, if you missed the link or where you can contribute, that'll also be there. And I'm also starting a new course. If you want to, on the 1st of July onwards, we're going to spend 21 days thanking money. 21 days loving money and saying sorry to money and thanking money. So if you want to be part of that, it's going to be beautiful. We already had a 10-day. It was really amazing. And we spent so much time earning money, but we spent almost no time purifying our relationship with money. So recommend some of you to join that if you like. It's been great. Sorry?
How much time every day
You have to spend an hour a day
with you?
with me. Not every day, actually. It's 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or you could do the evenings, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I'll share the details. The details are on that link, belucid.in. Beautiful, everybody. How wonderful.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Be well. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank
Take
you.
care. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.